All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are playing Death in Space tonight. We have a full crew. We have some returning people, some new faces, a new face, I should say. And this is, I think, our third time playing it. It's a fun game, brutal game at times, but yeah, it's really cool. If you're unfamiliar, it is a sci-fi industrial sci-fi game, like in a collapsing universe. Where things are kind of falling apart. Everything's old, and people are just sort of trying to get by as best they can. Static and void monsters and the abyss and stuff are kind of starting to creep into the last remnants of civilization here and there. And the five people that you see playing are trying to do their best to survive as best they can. So this is a one-shot. So it's an independent story. We've been sort of kind of vaguely linking a couple of our one-shots together because we've had some recurring characters here and there, but it's not like a full-on story that's connecting one to the other. But we are going to pick up shortly after our previous one, which had an interesting ending. But why don't we go over characters really fast and just sort of tell us what you're playing, who you're playing. I know some of you are playing the same character you played last time. Others are playing new. Steven's first time playing, so he's got a brand new character for us. So yeah, let's just do quick intros. I'm not sure if you watched the last game, Steven, but Long jumped into a two-dimensional black hole that was trying to crush his hand. And he was just like, I want to hop into this shit, and died. Just like that. So Long, who are you playing tonight?
Yes, I'm playing Char's Origins of the Void.
Okay.
So I'm like hidden behind masks, speaking through synthetic voice shamblers, and I've seen the visions of the universe, the edge of the universe.
Right on.
And
right on.
Let's see. Background: I'm an interstellar soldier. I have an odd necklace. I have a necklace with odd animal skulls on it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So like in the game, there's a lot of random stuff to the creation. Like you get a couple of random trinkets and items and stuff at the beginning. And one of those is that weird necklace of bones, like bone animal skulls or something like that. Right on. The other thing is that I decided that just because I want to play around with them a bit, I gave everyone a cosmic mutation. If you want to take a look. So Long, take a look. So if you guys all look at your character sheets on the situation tab, you will see what you got. I went ahead and just handpicked them because there are a few that would be kind of scenario breaking.
Oh, wow.
For what we're doing tonight. So, yeah.
Okay, so I have feedback loop. I can jump back 10 seconds in time, but at the cost of losing a one important memory.
Yes. So you will have to come up with a very important memory that like is fading from your brain. So every time you use that, and you have to spend void points to be able to use it. So you accrue void points by failing rolls. So if you fail a roll, you get those void points, et cetera. You can max out at 4 void points. Most of the time, we've been spending void points to gain advantage on rolls, but now everyone has another reason to use them to activate a power in specific situations. But you will not be allowed unless you come up with a nice juicy memory every time. Long. It's got to be really good. Okay. All right. Let's keep it going. Ashley, who are you playing tonight?
All right. So I'm playing Thea. I rolled another Chrome. I'm a technomant, an optimist. My drive, though, is a strange cult, which is very on brand for me. And I have a robotic left arm and hand. And my cosmic mutation is I'm magnetic. So I have magnetic blisters on my hands and feet. And the force is strong enough that I can crawl like a creepy child along walls and ceilings.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. I know you had your heart set on like an AI friend. I caught the message too late earlier today. And there's another one I thought about giving you where like you basically are like the Death in Space version of a Disney princess where you can kind of communicate with any living creature, like small little creatures.
God.
But then I thought, I'm like, where we're set tonight, I don't think we're going to have many of these small critters for you to really engage with.
Save
so
that
it's like, yeah.
for later. And then just remind me, Fiona from Shrek, and then I'll go. Yeah.
But Death in Space flavored, right? So like,
yes, exactly.
Yeah. So like a third arm coming out of your forehead or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, bottom row. Logan, who are you playing?
Well, I'm assuming I'm going to be playing my old character, Vess Shepard. He's in Orbit Vagabond. He is, what is it called? Velocity cursed. So he's this like kind of race of person who kind of like transcends space. He kind of goes in and out of space sometimes, doesn't exactly know where he's at. He's pretty tall. He's kind of like a detective. He has he'll do pretty much anything for money. He doesn't really have many allegiances. He wears a very large trench coat, popped collar. It's very thick to keep him warm in this dark space-like environment. He also has his like notable gilded revolver. And last campaign, he was beaten in combat, which he's not really used to, and possibly left for dead, but we never really found out. It was a little bit of a cliffhanger. My cosmic mutation that you gave me is a void cloud, so I can create a human-sized spherical cloud around a person or object, and all sound and light is stopped within the cloud. So it's kind of like a black hole, portable black hole I can bring around.
Yeah. Interesting enough, the creatures that the people that you did fight, those like there were weird cultists in our last game. And those are the ones you kind of got in the fight with at the end. They actually had that ability, just never really came into play. But they had that. I figured it'd be interesting to kind of somehow you absorb that or infected by that. No, actually, I think complications. Farkadev just threw out a complication. So I'm trying something. It's not new because I've done it before in other games. I tried it in Alien when I was running that several months back, where sometimes I do these like procedural generation things in a way. So where I come up with a couple different factors, like when you're exploring an area. So it could be like something unsettling, encounters that could be there, various descriptions, state of the room, that kind of thing. And so I think what I'm just going to do is I'm going to roll an extra encounter at some point, and that'll be the complication. Some of the encounters aren't horrible. Some of them are horrible. So just sort of luck of the draw at that point. All right, Melissa, I think you're returning too, right? Who are you playing?
Yes, I am. So I am playing Ilya. She is a punk. Her origin benefit is stubborn. Background is Moon Outlaw. She was on the winning side in the war. Her trait is that she's a hypochondriac, but she's pretty good at tech. So what we kind of figured out last episode is more kind of in her tech. So keeps everything clean. There's no way that anyone could download anything off of pop-ups or any such thing because all of the tech is kept very clean. She also has like 2 clean civilian clothes. So I kind of imagine her kind of like slick back hair, kind of like light colored clothes, and like everything looks clean. And her drive, interestingly enough, that I rolled was to never look poor. So she always keeps herself very clean and put together.
Very cool. Very cool.
And the mutation is telekinesis. So for 1 minute, I can lift, move, pull, and generally alter the direction and speed of an object.
Nice.
Why is that music playing? No,
Too old to Twitch mentioned it. Too old to Twitch mentioned it. It's from our Delta Green Impossible Landscapes campaign. Melissa's character was haunted by ice cream sounds.
Melissa, what do you mean there is no music playing? What are you talking about?
Just
I don't hear anything.
Just gotta queue up my various like Google listening devices to play that periodically throughout the house. That'd be fun.
No. Thanks, Too Old. Thanks so much for
that. That was fun. I really enjoyed finding that. I think I purchased that too, just to make sure. I'm like, I gotta get a good ice cream truck sound somewhere. And then finally, we've got our newbie for tonight. Let's see if he could break Dan's death record. As Dan died,
sure try.
I think half an hour into the first session. So let's see if he can break that. So
if I can, this will be the character to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. So tell us about your character.
Melissa, it's funny you mentioned the technology because I do have -2 tech on this character.
Great.
Along with a couple other negative stats. Not much positive here. I am Steven, and I am playing Steven. I used to spell my name Steven with a V, but I now spell my name Steven with a PH because I was doing a lot of experimental drugs and I took a lot of acid, so the pH went up. I am a punk event horizon diver. I did my best to avoid the war. I sided with myself. I'm wearing a leather jacket that's covered in botany patches. The back has a big patch that says "I love plants." I've got a double mohawk. One is green, one is red. Rather short though. Used to have one big mohawk, but my hair started going because I'm getting older, so I got to do the two on the side now. And my mutation is thermal conduit. So I can withstand some extreme temperatures or create a small region of extreme temperature in the palm of my hand. And I almost forgot, I have a buddy who always hangs out with me, an old crew member. I went through a bit of a cult phase when I was really deep in punk. And Stefan and I have been close ever since.
Okay. You just that's a character concept. That is a character concept. Okay. You
It
have
just fell
created a
together.
character. It did. Really, it seemed to just you just pulled it right together. Okay.
Very cohesive.
Yes. I will kill Stefan as fast as possible. Interestingly enough, when I took German in high school, like our teacher used to make us take German names, and mine was Stefan. Yeah.
I took
was
German in high school, but I forget
Stefan.
what name I had. They let me pick my name.
Yeah. We picked ours too. I picked that one so I would remember it because it had 2 F's in it. So I'm like, okay, I have 2 F's in my name, so I'll remember that. So it was like me, Stefan, Boris, and Franz. Those were like the 3 of us hung out a lot. Anyway. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Let's do this. Let's get a little mood music going, not the ice cream truck sound. Okay. All right. So, everyone roll a body test.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Starting off strong, huh?
all right.
Don't worry, nothing terrible. It's just to sort of give me a general sense of order.
Failure.
It's okay. Don't worry about like doing anything special. It's just I'm just trying to get a sense of the results here. Okay. Let's see.
Already got a void point. Look at that.
Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead and take those void points as well. Yeah. All right. Thea with a 17. Steven with a 15. The 2 of you
With a -2.
with a -2. Yeah, very good roll. The 2 of you in relatively the same time. You suddenly, like, it was kind of everything was black for a while, and then suddenly you wake up. You hear this vague sort of humming in the back of your head. This And when the 2 of you wake up, you realize you're in a cryopod. Not the same. You're in separate cryopods, but you're waking up at roughly the same time. You feel like the sticky residue of like the milk that's used to sort of insulate folks that go into some kind of suspended animation like this. You can kind of feel it draining here and there. You can feel the stickiness over your body. It's not fully covering your face and your skin. And you can see like on the underside of the lip of your pod, you can see like there's like this warning beacon that's flashing. Now you have very little memory of how you got into this pod. You remember your life, obviously. You know who you are. But memory about how you actually got into this pod seems to have somehow eluded you in some way. Maybe you took a bad hit to the head. Maybe you were in some kind of accident. It just, you don't remember getting into a cryopod.
That's not normal for cryopods, right? Normally we do remember getting in.
That's correct, yeah. Now, you both know that extended use of cryopods, suspended animation, can kind of mess with you a little bit, can kind of mess with your memories, mess with your mind. So maybe that's what's happening here, maybe it's not. But the alarms are going off, and you can tell that it's something about, like, there's like a drain of power, and it's giving you some kind of warning, and you hear as the pod opens up. And almost in identical times, you're like right next to each other. You realize as you start to climb out that you almost fall. And you look, and you can see in a very, very dark room, there are these red emergency lights flashing here and there. Pretty standard stuff. And it allows you to kind of see this cluttered cargo bay. You look down, you don't have any of your normal gear on. You just have sort of like the underclothing that you wear during the cryo sleep. And you look out and you see each other. And you're both the only other things that are moving. You look around, you can see that there's a couple other pods, like about 5, 6, 7, but they're all kind of stacked on top of trash here and there. You just see debris. You see salvage. Some of them are kind of tipped over, like on the ground, as if they've just been haphazardly like ripped out of whatever normal position they should be in and just thrown down. You basically look like you're in a scrap heap. What would you like to do as the two of you awake? Whether you know each other or not is entirely up to you.
Thea, do we know each other?
I'd say we're cult friends.
Cult friends. All right.
Yeah.
Fellow cult friend, we need to find Stefan right now. He's my number one. I would be looking at every pod.
Yeah.
Okay.
You start looking in the pods, and I'm just gonna have a moment because Thea's not too obvious about the fact that she's like a chrome, so she's gonna try and like turn to like go like plug in to talk to a computer, but like not be real weird about it. But she's being extra weird about it.
Steven is oblivious. He's just trying to get his coordination and his space legs back. Trying to like grope up his cryopod to find some sort of muscle and will it forward to the cryopods nearby, looking for Stefan frantically.
You can like kind of undo some of the cables that are kind of hooked into your body, like Matrix style, and you can climb on out. But it's like a tentative balance as you climb it out. You might stumble too much down what looks like almost like a pile of trash. As you stumble out, Steven, looking for Stefan, you see like this pile of debris. It just looks like scrap metal. And you can see that buried partially underneath it is one pod that's currently in the process of opening. And you see another where the red light is flashing. But something is trapped over top of it. You see this beam is trapped over top, like it's trying to open up, but it can't quite do so.
I'll try to go to the red light and get that beam off, just shoving it, wedging it as best I can.
You shove, and you just kind of... It's kind of heavy, but it doesn't require a roll. It just takes a moment. And as it does, so you see the lid just... Vess, your eyes pop open. You have... The last vague memory you have is of getting shot. And you look up, and you see... Steven, what do you look like again?
I have two mohawks, somewhat short. They're both on the side, one red, one green.
And there's just dripping, like there's like partially dripping pentamacetic milk just kind of falling down from this person's face. Some of it's kind of hardened here and there. Otherwise, just has the general suit of cryo. And you see red lights behind him in the relatively dark room as you're just looking as you come to Vess.
Where are we right now?
No idea. And I immediately leave, start looking at the other cryopods for Stefan.
So the next one that opens up was going to be Thea's as well. Or not Thea's, excuse me. Ilya's. So Ilya's, yours was the other one that was opening, was kind of closest to Vess. Yours was sort of half piled under some debris. As the lid opens up, some of that looser debris kind of falls and clacks down against the ground. Thea, maybe it kind of even makes you jumpstart slightly as like the sound of something thudding to the ground as you look over and another one of these pods open up. Ilya, the last memory you have, very clearly, actually, is of you and Dragon being led at basically gunpoint to a pod and getting in. And you look over and you can see, like, kind of sitting up out of one of the pods, you can see Vess that you definitely recognize, and these two other people, Thea and Steven.
Ilya is immediately going to jump up. Where's Dragon?
Who's Dragon?
Who are you?
I'm Thea. Who are you? And, like, mind you, Thea kind of looks like the Grudge girl. So she's got long black hair, and it's just, like, covered in milk stuff. and she's wearing like this like black like large t-shirt that's kind of like a dress, and she's like dripping in the corner as her fingers like plugged into a computer.
Yeah, we'll say you're like finding scrap and stuff nearby, and that's where like you're kind of picking up some various equipment that you might have had, and you can find like foot lockers and things here, and kind of so the stuff that you guys rolled in your character sheet you're starting to find and just sort of pocket. Sorry, Melissa.
Ilya's going to start looking at the other cryopods. Trying
yeah.
to look for.
You
Who
see,
are you looking for?
Looking for. Who are you?
Tell me if you find Stefan. I'm looking too.
Okay, I'm looking for Dragon, and I'll describe.
I'm not looking for anyone. I'm just trying to gather myself right now.
Sure. Yeah, getting up slowly, kind of shaking your head a bit. You kind of reach down and you can feel like the sort of scar tissue where you were like it's healed, but you can tell that like the whatever kind of healing that the milk does over time has definitely led to a differentiation between like your normal skin and the wounded skin.
I have plenty of those, that's for sure.
Yeah. And now, as you're moving around, you take a few steps and you see in the corner another one of these lids opening up. And was it Charse? Is that your name?
Yes, it is.
Charse, your eyes open. What was the last memory you had before now? You have to come up with it. Go. You have 5 seconds.
Last memory was on a planet.
Okay. Could you narrow that down slightly?
It was a dry planet. It's not much there.
Okay.
Pretty desolate.
Okay. All right.
A
Desolate
bug planet.
Dry planet. Definitely not Tatooine or anything.
He was on Bugsnax Cinematic Universe.
Okay. You wake up, you sit up, you feel like the dripping of like the last like sludgy bits of like the milk, and all of you have been in cryo before, so you're familiar with the process, and you maybe you don't even remember going into cryo, but you look over, you see there's these half naked people that are moving about through the dark. Some of them are scavenging for equipment, others are also just in the process of waking up, and standing right next to you is Ilya. As Ilya, you have discovered his pod.
Every time I come out of cryo, it's like the first time. I always forget it.
Ilya, nice to meet you. Not to be rude, I'm trying to find someone. Hope you're well. And Ilya's going to keep looking to see if there's any other pods that haven't been opened yet.
As she talks, I kind of glance over and I recognize that I know her, but it's not like a deep personal connection that I'm happy with. I'm just like, oh, at least there's somewhat of a familiar face, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so as you're all looking about, we'll go back to Steven. Steven, you notice multiple pods in here. There's got to be at least a dozen pods. Some of them are buried underneath trash. Like again, everything just looks like you're in, like you're at a dump. You're at a junkyard, and everyone's just sort of dumped everything in here. You're moving about. It's a very large cargo bay. You can tell that there are these exterior doors, like there's all sorts of these kind of yellow, running lines to warn folks here and there. But there's like if this was cleaned out, this could probably house a decently sized shuttle. But there's nothing like that here. It just looks like this has been being used as sort of storage for trash, for refuse, for something to sort of salvage through. You find a few pods where some sort of malfunction clearly happened, and you can tell a suffocated individual trapped, similar to the way Vess's pod was, except there was no one there to open it up, and they kind of were trapped inside of this pod and eventually suffocated. Others, you look inside and they're empty, and eventually you do in fact find Stefan, and his eyes like open just as you kind of like wipe away like this like kind of pale residue over the clear covering of the pod, and your eyes lock. Steven.
I was very frantic. I was starting to panic a little bit, especially when I saw the dying ones. And then Stefan, and just a wave of relief comes over me. And I try to compose myself like I wasn't upset.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, there you are. There you are. And I do my best to like get him sorted, get his pod all the way open, help him take off the cables and all the tubes and everything. You remember anything?
No, I do not. I am very confused. Why can I not remember anything?
Stefan, I don't
I
remember
am
you talking like this
Stefan.
last time.
I must have
You
had,
hit your head?
I must have had head injury.
In my
Lost
head
oxygen
canon,
to
this
the brain.
was Stefan Urkel from Family Matters.
I went a different route.
Yeah. It's all right. We can. I just gotta, readjust and move forward. All right.
Did you pick a origin for Stefan? I didn't hear.
Yeah, he's a monolith cultist.
Oh, okay.
And he normally wears very flamboyant robes and reflective materials, kind of like an emergency blanket that just was
Okay.
melted at certain points.
Sure. As you
I don't remember anything either, buddy.
I'm very cold. It's very cold. I need my reflective robes to insulate me from the dangers of space.
I'll look down and realize I'm still in my cryopod clothes. Yeah, let's find our gear. Thea's around here somewhere. Maybe she found it. Thea,
Yes.
you find our gear at all while you were looking around? Anything?
I found this wonderful cloak, and she like holds it up, and it's Stefan's cloak.
Yeah. Oh, Thea, thank you so much. I'm so much happier now. As he runs over. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk to him too much. So Jeremy was smart last week when he did this. He just started talking about it as his own character. There's too much of a pause. I had to fill the silence. So we'll say all of you, as you get up, a couple minutes, 10, 20 minutes go by as you kind of gain your bearings. You sort of look around, you find like different footlockers, chests, and just stuff piled up here and there, and you can kind of scrap together a few loose items that seem useful to you. A couple, pieces of clothing, a couple decent weapons. So whatever is on your character sheet is essentially what you can kind of slap together. I'm not going to take that away from you. But as you're doing so, and as you're, you maybe looking around, you do notice that the bulkhead, like the bulkhead protection for the door that leads out, you're not really sure where you're at. There's no functional consoles in this room. You notice that there's like a bulkhead that has kind of collapsed in front of what looks like a door that goes further inward, whether this is a ship or a station, you're not sure. And then, so it's like you're looking for kind of a way out. There's like a small little panel that seems to be kind of glitching, staticking here and there. And as you're moving about, you hear just the sounds of just some kind of like distant sort of crunching of some kind, and it has that kind of vague sound of like bulkheads collapsing. What do y'all want to do?
Not to be alarming, but I'm pretty sure we're in danger.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Do we see anyone else waking up other than the six of us?
No, strangely enough, not so. There are other pods, but they seem to be buried beneath significant amounts of debris. And so it could take a very long time. And you're not even sure if there's anyone even in those pods.
Ilya had disappeared, and so you see Ilya coming around the corner, and she very clearly was like, well, can't find dragon, time for a shower. And so she's like, you see, she's like cleaned at this point, so she's always making sure that she is clean, and she doesn't like for that like cryo milk goo stuff to just kind of like hang out for too long.
Okay. Not sure where he found a shower in here, but okay, we'll go with it.
Some version of like cleanliness.
She had
whatever.
wet wipes.
It's like those camp. It's like the camp
Wet wipe.
showers.
Okay.
Yeah. So hair is freshly slicked, and so then she's gonna kind of come around the corner and be like, is there a computer that I can get into somewhere?
Thea, did you find one?
There is this glitching console for the door, but it needs repairs.
I'll see what I can do.
Roll tech.
I can spend a void. Oh no, that's
Let's do it.
advantage ahead of time. Never mind.
No, it's totally fine. So what basically is going to happen, so we're going to do like a fail forward situation, is you're sitting there trying to, do you have tools or anything like that on you?
I mean, I've got flex tape.
Okay, so like you're
I do have
I do have lockpicks. I don't know
Okay.
if that's gonna come in handy, but
That's I mean, it might at some point. In this case, it's the bulkhead door, probably not as much, but you're kind of reaching in to you pull the panel off the wall, you kind of reach into the wires and start pulling some things out and doing like the classic kind of connecting different ends. As you do so, you feel a horrible jolt and your arm just goes numb as your whole arm kind of gets flown off and back. And you can feel like the numbness just shoot all the way up to your shoulder and kind of into your chest. Take a point of damage. But
Ilia's gonna look down because it's the same arm that had been all like voidy staticky last time, and so it's gonna suddenly remind her of like what had happened to the arm, and she's gonna look down and like be upset at the pain, but also be like, "Oh, hey, my arm."
Flex a little bit, and everything's fine. You look at it; doesn't look any worse for wear. Like this looks fine. You do feel like there's a little bit of a contact and kind of burn at the end of your fingers, but as you do that, you hear the screeching of like metal scraping against metal, and the bulkhead kind of starts to peel away at least halfway, so you can see the door, and then the rest of you can kind of like take your fingers and sort of physically slide the door open from behind the bulkhead, giving you an exit to the room.
You okay? Seemed like quite the shock.
Yeah, thanks. I'll take a hand up, but maybe we got it open.
I'll kind of poke my head out as the door is sliding open to get a look around. And as I'm doing this, anyone remember anything? Why the fuck are we in a trash heap?
the last thing I remember is dying, so I'm just happy to be here.
Dying?
Yeah, I got into an argument with some short-tempered individuals, and we took a few shots at each other, and pretty sure I lost. But me waking up here, I don't know if this is heaven or hell, or if I'm still alive.
Sounds like we're in hell.
So Steven, you said, did you say you peeked?
Yeah, I wanted to peek out the door. As
You
it was
lose your head. Sorry.
Yeah, the door closes.
The door closes. Roll a new character. Roll savvy test.
We're playing the cube. You didn't do your
I love
your
that.
long division before entering the room, so you lost your head.
Savvy's the only thing I'm sort of good at.
When you look out, you realize the corridor is very, very dark. Occasionally there's these flickering emergency lights that pop on, but they don't really seem to be consistently powered. And it does give a view of a fairly narrow corridor. And by narrow, I mean, at most, 8 to 10 feet wide. You have these like archways, like every interval that suggests like emergency bulkheads could drop at any point. You realize you're likely in a ship or station of some kind. And not only are these things here, but you see that there's more debris on the ground, but you also notice like some of the walls have kind of collapsed and crumpled inwards here and there, almost as if something's been pushing on them from outside. It might just be force from space, or something from a neighboring room, but you can see it kind of crunching down. You hear the sounds of something down the hallway kind of moving and skittering, but you can't see anything.
Do I feel heavier?
Good question. I like it.
No, you do not. It's a good. Actually,
Okay.
that's a good question. Yeah, you don't.
Can I still jump as high as I normally can?
Yeah, it seems within.
He's like measuring by how
relative
far he
norms.
can get on the wall.
It's like I can touch that awning. Okay. Yeah, you don't think you're in any significantly different gravity situation.
Well, if we're not dead, we're gonna die here. This place is falling apart.
So Ilya has 2 pistols, and so hearing that there's some sort of skittering ahead, she's just gonna like pull out both of her pistols and start to move forward.
Okay.
Can I look in the trash heap for like some sort of like light source, like a flashlight or something?
Sure. Roll a savvy test.
Success.
So you're unable to find any like flashlight or anything like that, but you do like relatively quickly, like as everyone's getting ready to leave and you're kind of hastily kind of looking, you do actually find a tablet computer. You had a success, right?
Does it have Ilya written on the back?
Yeah, I do have a success.
Okay. You find 3 things of interest, actually. I have a whole system. I'll tell you about the system afterwards. You find a tablet computer that does have a little bit of power left. You can definitely tell that the battery is probably less than 25%, but when you turn it on, you have some basic illumination. It's not as good as a flashlight, but it's decent. You find a small book, and as you start flipping through it, you can see these like hastily and almost like in sort of child writing like poems that have been written on like repurposed paper. Like the paper looks like it's been torn out of some sort of like, you know, like what looks like an operations or employee manual, and like something's been like written and drawn over top of it, and like these colored markers and paints. And you find a pistol at condition 2 with 4 rounds. So, who are you again? I can put them on your character sheet if you want. So that is what you'll find. You'll have to adjust the pistol. 4 rounds, 2 condition.
Okay. I found a few things before we leave. Do any of you have a charger?
I do. I also have a tablet computer.
Fantastic.
Just like that one, so I think the charger will fit.
We can do this later.
Everything's USB-C these days. So.
I have
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to check her tablet. Does it have a disc player on it?
It does not have a disc player. God dang it.
I have a laser disc. I do. It's an actual belonging, so I'm just curious if I could.
I believe you. There's also
Does
like
it
a
have-
USB necklace too. which is
Yeah,
funny.
does it have a USB slot? Because I have a USB necklace. We could just role play this for the next 30 minutes.
We could
Yeah.
just really stay in here.
What ports
so-
do we have, Jeff? I got to know what we're working with. Is there HDMI?
It's all SCSI. It's just all SCSI ports. It's like real old school SCSI ports. So who went out into the hall?
So I'm
Ilya
gonna
did.
take point here. All right,
Okay.
guys, listen up. We've all woken. Don't know where we are, but we're gonna have to trust each other for now.
And who put
And-
you in charge?
I vote for Charles.
I vote we tie him up. I don't like his attitude.
I am so heartbroken when Thea says that. We gotta stick together. I'll look to her and Stefan. It's the 3 of us.
Oh no, Stephen! We should let him go first. He seems very capable. You don't.
I never
look
said we
very
couldn't let him go first. I just said like maybe we should, take a vote for leadership here.
I vote
Ilya
for-
has 2 pistols out, and it's just like, really,
Okay.
we're voting, really.
Can I create
have
a void
no
cloud
real
right in
weapons.
front of Charles just to see his reaction to a kind of a black hole of nothingness before
He
I let him
jumps
take
in.
charge?
Well, I
Yeah, he's
am kind
got
of
it.
a black hole of nothingness, so
Oh.
because I'm void or origins.
Nice.
Okay.
I thought you were just sad.
As you take points, go ahead and roll savvy as you start moving into this corridor.
Success.
Okay. As you start moving in, you, unlike Steven, actually get, as you start to move a little further in, you're like kind of stepping on these, what look like it almost looks like the metal on the panels of the floors have kind of been bent down or bowing in some way. And you can feel like and hear the noise as it's kind of like the steps you're taking are very awkward. But you see up ahead, there are these 2 figures that are like, from what you can tell, like they're ripping something out of the wall. It looks like like they're kind of like yanking cables or something like that. And with your savvy test, as you look at a distance, and maybe Thea's like tablet gives just enough illumination combined with like the sudden flickering of the emergency light, you see what looks like these, like they're both humanoid, but you can definitely tell, like all of you would be familiar with somebody who's been who has suffered long from like some kind of void infection. You can tell that there is these like horrible like acts of self-mutilation, like on their faces and arms. You can see what looks like little flecks of like metal that's kind of protruding out from inside their mouths outwards through their cheeks, like creating spikes here and there. You can see that
so edgy.
Yeah, they're very, very edgy. They're very Reaver-like from Serenity kind of deal. But you see two of them up there. What do you want to do?
What about our leader?
Yes.
That's what I was asking.
Trying to understand it more. So
they're pulling something out. It's a long dark corridor. You can see them up ahead about 20 feet near what looks like a doorway. The door has been kind of jammed open. You can see there's some kind of pipe that's been wedged to keep it from automatically closing, and they're like ripping something out of the walls.
Is it like kind of savage, or
Yes, you would know that these people they have horrible signs of like just terrible self-mutilation.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Just let everyone know behind me. Got signs of corruption up ahead. Not friendly at all. Possibly hostile.
Oh, Ghost of Mars. That's a good one, Matt.
If there's another path around or away from them,
there is not. It's like a straight corridor out of here. Yeah.
then whoever's behind me, I'll just let them know. I'll take the right one.
I'll take the left one.
Okay. All right. So you start moving up. You trying to be? Are you just going to rush them, or just start firing from a distance?
Light them up.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Everyone open fire down the hallway.
So the way combat works is, we remember it's popcorn initiative. So it sounds like Charis is initiating combat. So you go ahead and take your action. So you can go ahead and roll your attack. If you're doing a ranged attack with like a pistol or throwing weapon, it's tech.
Shoot this.
Don't forget
I don't
that you
roll
can
attack on the weapon.
You can. The sheets might let you do it on the weapon.
Tech is, I believe it's ranged. Yeah, tech is ranged, but
yeah, you can.
You can roll
attack.
Yeah, you can hit the attack button. Okay, so you take a shot. As you're firing, like the one that you're firing at, like is trying to pull this cable, and like it comes free right as you fire, and just like the purest happenstance, just they happen to fly back a couple feet as the bullet as whatever gun you're firing, whether it's a bullet or whether it's a laser, just sort of moves right past and embeds into to the door that's like being pried open behind them. Who do you give the initiative to?
Ilya.
Okay, Ilya, you're next.
All right, I'm going to shoot the other one, and I'm going to use a void point.
Okay, to get advantage. Sure.
Yep.
Oh, you got 2 in tech? Lucky ducky.
All right, so that is...
I do.
How much damage?
2 damage. And then I have to roll a
damage.
d6 because I spent a void point.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, why is this? Hold on. There we go.
Okay, you should be fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yep. Okay, who do you give it to? As you guys are moving out into you're starting to fan out into this and spread off to the side. Like maybe we watch as like Charis like steps off to the side, then Ilya comes up, fire, and then kind of steps off to the side. Who do you give it to next? Who comes through and starts firing next?
I'm gonna give it to Vess.
Okay, so Vess, you come up next.
So after I see these shots, I'm just gonna like kind of scoff to myself and just say, "Oh, geez, not this again." Just working with a couple of amateurs, and I'm gonna like kind of. So I have this like kind of sawed-off lever action shotgun. And I'm going to kind of push them to the side and then just kind of like one hand cock it and just fire down the hallway.
Okay.
And I'm going to use my void point and do a risky attack.
Okay.
Just try and blast these guys away.
All right. DR 12.
12. Okay.
Oh yeah, that'll do.
All right.
Okay. How do you want to assign it? There's 2 of them. One of them did take damage already.
So we'll do 7 to the injured one and then 5 to the uninjured one.
Okay. So as you kind of take a couple steps forward, you get a little bit closer, but not right up on them because you have that shotgun. You want to get a little bit of range. You're just like freaking amateurs. And as you do, one of them just goes flying back. The one that Ilya already hit slams against that door that's being kind of held pried open and just slowly drops to the ground. The other one like stumbles, kind of all savage-like, and you can see like its blood is dripping from where like this huge wound right now in its chest has opened up from your shot. It kind of balances itself on the ground for a moment, gets up, almost surprisingly spry, and looks like it's about to spring in your direction. So the second one is still up. Who do you give the initiative to? There's both. There's actually 3 on your side still, because there's Steven, Stefan, and then there's Thea left.
All right.
Don't giggle as you say his name.
Then Stefan for
Stefan.
sure.
Oh yes, I shall help. Yes. Does he have any weapons?
He has as many weapons as I do, so no.
Okay. He is going to. I shall save you, and he'll run up. No, I'm just kidding. He's yours to control. What do you do with him?
No.
I will save you. You do not. They will be distracted by my reflective coat.
Do you not take the like one weapon that we could roll because of the?
I have a throwing weapon, so
Got it.
yeah, I rolled poorly. Stefan Urkel would not rush into battle. He would stay back with me because we're not sure of who this whole crew is.
Okay.
There's no way to really ready an action.
He cowers behind you, and he's just.
I would say he gets close to that door we came through and is ready to close it at a moment's notice.
Okay. All right, so he's ready to trap you all in the cargo bay. Gotcha. All right.
And that would pass our initiative. If I get to decide, it would pass to Thea.
Sure. It's either you or Thea. Yeah.
Or them, right?
Or
That
them.
we
Or
needed.
them. But
Yeah, whoever ends the initiative gets to decide who goes first in the next round. So if this one doesn't die before the end of the round, they could conceivably go twice in a row. So, but it did
So
just
is it
take a
my
pretty strong shotgun blast. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to use this pistol that I've never had before.
Okay. As you step up, kind of charging in, guns blazing, firing at these poor port fanatics. DR 12.
I'm going to make it risky.
Okay. That is a
Hit.
that's a hit. 10
Why
points of
hit?
damage. Describe your kill, Thea, as you step in and you see this thing
So-
getting ready to spring at you.
Thea steps forward and she's like, perhaps we should vote for Vess as our team leader, as she pulls out this pistol and she kind of looks at it dreamily. And then she just leads forward and she's like, takes a shot, and she's surprised as its head just kind of like gets hit right in the mouth.
It just collapses down to the ground. So now you have fired a couple shots, very loud. You can still hear the sounds of like the crunching here and there. You can feel as though like you all familiar with being, but you know you're in space. Like you can feel it. You don't know if you don't hear the sounds of like engines thrumming. You don't think you're at faster than light travel. You're not sure. Like you could be adrift. But you can tell that you're in space at this point, just from the ambiance of the sounds of the metal kind of collapsing from the pressure. And you see these two figures there. You have an open door in front of you that's being wedged open. You have the cargo bay behind you. What do you want to do?
Can we check them for any like form of identification or any belongings?
Yeah, you go through, and they have on what look like these like worker coveralls They've been horribly like stained with like blood, and they've been cut and stripped here and there. You can see they've packed like crumpled up bits of like engineering like manual paper like into their pockets almost, because you can feel like it's very, very cold in here, as if the environmental systems aren't working too well. And you can see that they have that inside of them. You also can see that there's a like you can tell that there's like some kind of corporate logo that's like on the backside like of the coveralls, and it just says Octogust Gem Corp, and it's all kind of sludged, and you're not sure how old these things are, but these are definitely old coveralls. Can I take
the patch?
Oh yeah, you can rip the patch off. Yeah, no problem.
Cool.
You don't
have
notice
any ammo or anything?
Doesn't look like they had any weapons on them. But if you kind of, you can see that one of the only thing of interest that they have is like they seem to have like a handful of like darts, almost like playing darts, but they're magnetized. Probably from some kind of lounge entertainment venue in here. So I'll drop that on your sheet.
Perhaps we should drag their bodies to the cargo bay.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I had no idea you were such a good shot.
I am also surprised.
You weren't in the war, were you?
No. I was in the cult.
Good.
I mean, the family. And then she's gonna grab an ankle and start dragging it towards the cargo bay.
They wouldn't have any weapons, would they? The
Family.
Reaver-like people?
Family.
No, it doesn't look like it. They just had like, you can tell that their hands are kind of torn up pretty bad. Like you can see that they have like what looks like, basic tools like a wrench here or like a crowbar there. So those could potentially be used as melee weapons or thrown weapons if you want. But that's
I would nod towards Stefan to grab a leg, and I would help Thea as well by grabbing the arms.
Can we give Stefan a wrench?
There's no H in his name. It's Stefan. Not Stefan.
It's Stefan.
Stefan.
It's the Germans.
Yeah, and then I would try to like have a moment with them as we're moving these bodies. Like, the three of us, we got to stick together. We're the only ones we know. We don't know who these other ones are capable of.
We have seen they are quite capable, Stephen. That one right there nearly killed... That one right there nearly killed two at once. The first one, however, he talks a good game, but he missed. He was very poor.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what they'll do to us.
We do need allies, I would believe to say.
I'm not saying we should go our own way. I'm just saying that's just the three of us. We got a nice core group. Let's just watch each other's backs. That's all I'm saying.
The more the merrier.
Can I do like a perception check to see if I can hear them talking?
Savvy. Yeah.
Insight.
Oof. All right.
No, you do not.
Stefan's yelling. I don't know how you didn't hear it.
But his voice has tendency to blend with the natural ambience of the room.
I hear a lot of
Tim
voices
Scott,
all the
thank you
time.
for that.
Thank you.
Very nice. Appreciate that.
Ilia's going to look at Charst, since we were the two that were kind of out in front, and she'll just, kind of like nod her head kind of through the hallway, kind of, pistols up, and just see if Charst is ready to look down the next hall.
Yeah, of course. We'll just keep
wrapping
marching.
up.
Sure. Okay. I mean, the two of you kind of push through, and when you kind of get to the door that they've pried open, you see another what looks like what looks to you as best as you can kind of describe it as some kind of like how how would I describe it? Some sort of like checkpoint, like for cargo incoming, importing, exporting cargo, like coming from ships or moving out to ships. You can see what looks like pallet jacks and stuff that have been kind of tipped over, repurposed, broken down. You can see what looks like old detectors, like where they're sort of doing some sort of like radiation detectors here and there. They don't seem to be functioning. You see a couple consoles behind like these security booths. You also see what looks like a significant amount of like these exposed electrical wires that are kind of been ripped up out of the ground, like out of the actual floor panels. They've been kind of pulled up from the side, and these huge thick cables are just kind of running almost sporadically all around. Like they're trying to these two that you saw were trying to like salvage something, and they're like shooting up bits of electricity here and there. And the last thing you notice as you're looking around, as the light is kind of flickering on here, you even notice that there's some overhead lights that are kind of still working, especially from those security booths that are kind of giving a better view. The room itself is, probably a 30 by 30 type room. You can see there's these shadows that are affixed to the walls, but they kind of, they look almost like the residue left over from like a nuclear blast. Like you just see these like these perfect like sort of blackened shadows of figures on the wall. Both of you, so this will be Ilya and Chars. Go ahead, both of you roll savvy tests. Gen Lab Alpha, Tim Scott. Oh my gosh, that was one of the first games we streamed. Love that game. Almost all of us are here. The only one we're missing is Derek. We gotta finish that at some point.
That was such a fun time.
Oh man, I still remember the Chelio storyline was just one of my favorite things like we've done in this channel. That was so good. 22. Holy crap, Ilya.
Yeah, that's a fail. Yeah.
As the two of you are up here, we'll say Vess is... I'm not sure where Vess is exactly. I know that the other three, Thea, Steven, and Stefan, were in the back. But as the two of you are up here, and Chars, you start moving about, examining, Ilya, your attention is kind of drawn to those shadows, and as your eyes move away, you catch out of the sort of the corner, the peripheral vision, you think one of the shadows begins to twitch and move. When you quickly look back over, you swear the shape, the position of it, the arms, the legs, the head kind of tipping off to the side, maybe it's a few inches further, like it moved when you weren't watching it.
Chars. Look at that. It's a shadow, but it's moving.
I didn't catch it. Your eyes might be playing tricks on you.
Yeah.
Just look at it. Just give it a second. It'll move.
Are you dizzy? I see nothing.
No. It moved. What did you find?
Apparently a loony.
A loony? Like a Canadian dollar coin? Those are valuable.
What is Canadian?
So if Chars looks at it and Ilya doesn't see movement again, then Ilya will move over to one of the security terminals and see if she can try to get anything functioning. But she's going to be kind of like checking behind her every couple of minutes.
Roll a tech test, but roll at disadvantage as you're constantly like looking back over your shoulder, distracted, and they continue to move on you. Like every time you look over, the pattern, the position of these blasts is just different. And you think are they getting closer to you? They might be getting closer to you. But tech at disadvantage.
Okay. I'm going to spend a void point and roll it at disadvantage, which hopefully will make it roll it regular.
Yeah, it should be regular.
So we'll see if I clicked the right buttons. Nope, I didn't click the right buttons.
Well, I'm trying to see. Both of those rolls would have failed.
Yeah,
right?
It's fine.
Okay,
right?
So both of them failed. Okay.
Okay.
And are you okay on corruption?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Because I
you're
just
okay on
spent it.
corruption.
Fine. Yep.
Sounds good. You You see that there's power coming to these consoles for sure, like 100%. But you can tell that the displays are kind of like glitching out on you. There's something wrong with this system. And as you're trying to bypass, but like there's some sort of strange security protocol that seems to be not allowing you access. And you're not like alarmed by it where you think there's something horribly wrong with it. It's just like you can't seem to bypass the security protocols. It's sort of beyond your capabilities. It's just, or maybe you're just too distracted every now and then, whatever it might be. But it doesn't seem to make sense to you. What you can get, however, is that you are on a station. Like you do see like the sort of like you can tell like it's referencing like station protocol, emergency protocols activated of some kind. So all you can really tell is something happened, some kind of some catastrophe or whatever happened, and you can't seem to access anything in greater depth.
Ilia's gonna yell down the hall. Are y'all almost done? There's like shadows moving in here and stuff.
I imagine I'm walking up at this point anyway.
Yeah, that's fine.
And what do you mean
this is what I'm
shadows?
saying. They're losing it.
Like the wall right there. There's the shadows on the wall.
Do I notice anything when I look?
Roll a savvy test. Anybody else who's now in here can also roll a savvy test on that. Vess, you look over, like, yeah, it looks like someone probably got vaporized, but like they're not moving. Those people are clearly have been dead for who knows how long.
Fail.
Thea, you as you're looking at them, they look fine, but as you look away, you can see out of the corner of your eye they start to move again. And Steven, you're just like Vess, and you're just like Charles, like they're fine.
So kind of freaked out, but like Thea's been into some cult stuff before, so maybe she's not as freaked out as Ilia. And she'll go walk up to her and put her hand on her shoulder and be like, I also see the shadow people.
And Ilia's gonna look over to Charles and be like, see? It's not just me. She can see it too.
Thea, what do you actually see?
The shadows are moving.
Thea,
Yeah, these shadows, they move.
no offense, what's your name, Ilia? But I don't know you.
What does that have to do with anything? You know her and she sees them moving.
How are they moving? I'm looking at the same shadows you are.
I don't know that I need to explain movement to you. Something is either stationary or it's moving. These are moving.
Obviously, the station is haunted. Oh, wonderful. You found a console? And I'd like to try and speak with the computer.
Sure. Do you have that ability again?
I do, yep.
Okay. So, and it doesn't require a roll. It's just your origin benefit. You want to read that for people so they know what we're talking about?
So I have Native Machine, which is a Chrome origin benefit, and I can converse with computers as if they're real people. Plug in and find a friend.
Okay.
That's so wholesome.
Yeah.
You tap in. You connect. As you do so, you certainly see the shadows are kind of moving towards you. Like your friend Steven is telling you that it's in your mind, but you see it. Like they're shifting and they're moving. They can never quite get to you. They're all just kind of skirting around the wall, and the console itself is not along the wall. It's more centered by one of these security booths. And you tap in and you realize like you can see that there's some sort of security like protocols that are kind of not allowing like certain access. This is just sort of broadcasting something. But as you tap in, you don't so much get a voice, but you get sort of like this binary code that starts blasting into your into your interaction. What do you ask?
Why is the station in emergency lockdown?
You hear like sort of the zeros and the ones, these beats and these these little dots, and like this strange kind of combination of sounds, almost Morse code like in your head, but like extraordinarily faster. And you can quickly differentiate and sort of translate that in your head to being collapsing orbit. Collapse imminent.
And Thea will kind of pause and she'll turn to the group and be like, so we are in danger. Collapsing orbit is imminent.
Sounds like we should probably get off this ship.
Can you fix it?
And she'll go back to the computer. Where are the escape pods?
You hear the same combination. All escape pods are gone. They've been launched. It starts going through like inventory of what's there. The only thing that's left is it's going through like different ships that have recently, at least in their logs, relative to their logs, departed, and it references orbital shuttle, Ogre orbital shuttle, outer docking bay 7.
And so she'll repeat that. We need to get to orbital docking bay 7.
Can
Ship
you get a map?
Ogre. And then directions to orbital docking bay 7 from current location.
Yeah, you gain access. You see the console kind of shift, and you see what looks like a basic layout of the station. It's got this very large circular docking ring, and you can tell as it's like kind of giving the kind of "you are here" ping for like this specific console, and then you can see that the orbital docking station, like number 7, is on like the complete opposite side. You notice that there is kind of this vertical, almost diamond-like column that the ring wraps around with these various connecting tunnels that go into that central ring, which is kind of where operations are, engineering is, bridge control, etc. Everything around the edge is some sort of docking bay. It's some kind of fueling station, is what you're learning, because at sort of the base of this central diamond-shaped format, there is some kind of fueling station connectors at the bottom. But you're also noticing, as like real-time displays, there are what looks to be numerous moments where there's hull breaches along and damage along the outer ring of the docking bay, kind of blocking like just sort of perfect, direct, easy access here and there.
Ilya's gonna lean over to Thea and just say, "Ask about the shadows. Ask about what happened in here."
What happened in here with the remains?
Yeah,
There's-
the query string is too illegible for it to
Vague.
sort of. Yeah, it's like when Google or Alexa doesn't understand your question.
I like to think it just starts laughing, and so Thea turns to Ilya and she goes, "The computer is saying."
That's entirely unhelpful.
So as you're doing this, you hear from the other kind of like, this is like one of those, think of it almost like you're going through customs in a way. There's like these security booths here and there. And you're at one. You hear the sounds of this like sudden power surge coming from one of the other security consoles in the room, like this really, really large one, and then the whole booth just explodes. And you can see debris is kind of shot everywhere. You hear the sounds of something collapsing, some sort of crunch, crunch, crunch. And while you're connected to the console, you hear like error messages blare into your ear in a way like you're all of a sudden the volume is cranked up, and all of you begin to just sort of lift ever so slightly off the ground, as it seems like gravitational control in this area has ceased to function. Thank you, John Maxuda. That is your complication.
Well, this is difficult. Shall we leave?
The longer we stay here, the worse it's going to get for us. So I think we should start heading towards that bay.
Ilya is going to watch the shadows as we move towards a doorway
Okay.
to leave.
All right, so you're in 0. So all of you are basically in 0G. Anyone have any magnetic boots? Thea, I think, would be
Steve
fine,
has.
probably, with the...
Yeah.
But she has to, you
Does
have
it?
to activate that power.
Yeah, I do have a void point, so I can activate it.
Sure, you can do that if you like.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you guys watch as like Thea's just like casually as she like reaches up with her hand, and then suddenly she's pulled towards the ceiling, and then she just starts crawling along the ceiling.
I'm gonna grab
Yeah,
onto.
I hate it when you do that.
I'm gonna like take my belt off and just like strap it around like her thigh, and then like clip it onto myself so I can
Okay.
kind of just float along her.
Okay, that's fine. You're attached. You're umbilical. What are the rest of you doing?
I have
Everyone
magnetic boots,
link
and
up,
I'm holding
please.
on to Stefan. He and I
Okay.
are hip to hip.
Anybody else needs to make a dex save, or dex check, I should say, sorry, as you try to maneuver in like this suddenly 0G environment.
Yeah, I'll try to hook to like railings that the station has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to spend a void point for this.
I'll let
You
go.
just don't want to be a train behind me?
Whoa.
What do you
I
mean?
was trying to
Ashley,
figure out how
family
long
stream.
it would take.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
I was trying to
Gross.
figure out how long it would take for
Uh-oh.
me to like get out my flex tape, and I was like, it might take a little
No, no,
longer
no.
than I've got right
Yeah.
now to get the flex tape out.
So as Chars and Ilya try to like launch themselves in the into the direction of railings or at Thea, you see like they just kind of miscalculate, maybe some disorientation left over from just getting out of the pod and immediately getting into combat, or in the case of Ilya, maybe kind of confusion of the shadows, and the two of you just start drifting into like the recesses of the other side of the room, away from these security booths, which is just darkness over there. And you see the two of them are just drifting off to the other side of the room. Steven, what are you doing? You're clinging to Stefan.
Yeah, I have the magnetic boots, and I'm
Okay.
holding Stefan
Oh,
next to me.
Steven, save me! As he reaches out and grabs you, as the two
Look
of you
at
have...
what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, if they're not in the family, they don't know what what they're doing. These people
Yeah.
are flying all over the place. We got to stick together, guys.
It is... We must save them. They are people. I don't know what's going
I'm
on
saving
with this.
you, Stefan.
Yes,
A
but
whole
they are...
family of magnetic people, I guess.
What if we encounter dangers more significant later and we need someone to protect us to serve as cannon fodder?
I'm not saying we leave. Sorry, we got to talk quiet because they might hear us. I'm not saying we leave. I'm just saying like we have to watch each other's backs.
Yes. That is good.
I like to imagine that Stefan is like piggybacked on Steven.
Just
Absolutely.
covering his face, like just got it. Yeah. Okay.
You gotta go lower. You're cutting off my hair.
Steven, can you please go get our friends?
I will start trudging with Stefan on my back to try and get to these guys. I'm sure the walking with the magnetic boots is a little bit slow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you trudge off into the corner. I want Ilya to make another savvy test at disadvantage.
Okay. And I'm at a void point, so it's just at disadvantage.
Okay. Okay.
Oh no.
So as you and Chars like disappear into this darkness, just like this darkened area, you feel something physically grabbing you. Like you can feel something just grabbing your arm. You feel the sudden pressure of something squeezing your shoulder, squeezing your arm, squeezing your leg. You just feel yourself being compressed. Take a point of damage as like you begin to, whether it's really happening to you or it's psychically happening to you, you're not really sure, but I would say you're probably fairly convinced at this point that the shadows are like on the wall are now like they have you.
And you just see her flailing, like just all four limbs are just like, no, get off, get off. And like waiting to see if anybody else can do anything to assist.
We
How
tie
close
her
would
up.
I be to her?
Oh, you'll get there eventually. Like you just chomp. It's not very far, and you're just like stomping, and eventually you like push into the darkness, and you can see like at this point Charis has kind of reached the other side and is kind of like a swimmer, kind of coiled around and sort of got his like rested his legs against one wall and is ready to sort of ricochet back. Whereas like Ilya is just sort of spinning around and just sort of like swatting at something, like she's being attacked by a swarm of bees that you can't see as you get up there. You don't see.
And I haven't seen these shadows yet, so I'm really not rushing. I'm just going at a normal pace.
Yeah. But that's what you see.
I should have told her
Stefan,
to be
can you
careful of the
grab?
shadows. I say to Vess.
I'm just kind of tuning out what they're saying right now. I haven't seen any movement. Everyone's starting
you haven't.
acting real crazy around me. So I'm gonna try and keep my distance and just kind of stay hooked on to this this cult fanatic and just hopefully get to this cargo bay so I can get off this damn ship.
Okay. So you start. So are you guys just sort of leaving and moving down like this ring corridor? You can see like you're in the ring now. Like it looks like you were in some kind of cargo bay, shuttle bay area, or repurposed shuttle bay area, and now you've kind of moved out into the ring, and so that's where this sort of security thing is. And you can see going in obviously in opposite directions. You can see these corridors extending into darkness, occasional flickering emergency lights going basically either way. So those are your options as Steven.
Yeah, I would just be picking up one of them first, and then I assume Thea would try to get the other.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'll say, Charles, like you're capable enough to coil up and kind of push back, and on your second one, you kind of launch yourself in the direction of Thea, whereas, like Steven, you managed to grab Ilya, even though she's like you're trying. She's almost like she's a drowning victim, and you're trying to save her from the water. Like that's what
I'm
it
gonna
feels
put
like right now.
If Stefan's on my back, I'm gonna start walking backwards the last couple feet to let Stefan kind of like have his legs wrapped around my waist and then reach out and grab her as best we can.
Just like a demented balloon.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Let's put Stefan in danger there.
After a minute or so.
Hey, Farco.
Oh, Farkadev, thank you so much. I'm adding.
Oh my goodness, all the complications.
This is a fun night. This is a fun night. I like
love
this.
it.
I'm actually getting some love today. It's great. You people are. All right. So, who's going first? Who's leading? As you can see, that there's like I said, there's these series of like every so often, like there's these intervals where these bulkheads are here, like these emergency bulkheads have landed here and there, and you kind of have to like go through various protocols to open them back up. Which doesn't require necessarily a roll, but does require a touch of time to kind of tap into it and cause like this security to open up. And eventually, as you're kind of getting near what looks like one of these segments, like the next section where the next bay might be, or the next dock, dock on the ring might be, those of you that are still floating, you suddenly slam to the ground as the gravity protocols begin to switch back on. Who's leading the way?
I'll still lead the way if possible.
Yeah, Thea will be like in the middle, but like directing, but she's not leading.
Okay.
While Ilya and Stefan were still close to me, I would try to take Ilya aside. I see you got 2 of those pistols there. Maybe it'd be better if more of us were armed.
And I'd like to say that, like, when people are like flailing around in a pool and someone tries to help and they just like are pulling the other one down, I like to feel like when the gravity like just kind of suddenly like reappeared, that Ilya just like yanked Stefan down to the ground with her. So like as you're having this conversation, Ilya is just kind of trying to like put Stefan back upright.
You guys are like caught up in his big old cloak.
I can see the wisdom of that. You can have one of my pistols if you'd like.
Excellent. And I'll grab one, whichever one she offers.
I'm going to give you the one that I already shot, so it's down 1 ammo.
Thank you very much.
So I know that Charles is up front. Who's second? Who's second through like into the next like major section, like where like you see again more of those sort of security checkpoint areas like you just came through? Like there's like a series of them. It's the same sort of system every time you come to a new point.
I'll follow behind.
Both of you roll savvy tests as you kind of try to peek through some of the darkness and the flickering light here and there.
Yikes.
Oh,
That's
wow.
no good. Okay. So the two of you move into the room. And you can see that this one, similar to the last, it's like everything has been ripped apart in some way. Like even prior to whatever situation this thing is currently under. I mean, you have to start to wonder how good of condition this place was ever in, even before this collapsing orbit issue popped up. As you look around, like all of the damage, some of this damage is old. You can see like this thing has been like there's metal that's been ripped out of the walls. You can see that there's wiring and cabling that's been scavenged. Like definitely someone has like come through here. But as you're moving in, you notice like, I would say this is Charse. You see like the ceiling above, like there's these running lights that flicker on every now and then, and you see writing like carved into the metal above. Also, you feel like this tinge of nausea just suddenly wash over you. Like, same with you, Vess, and same with the others as you kind of start to follow in. Just feel, all of you make body checks. Oh boy. That's another one I see. Oh dear.
Ew.
Everybody but Thea.
Steven and Stefan failed.
Everybody
That's
but
one.
Thea and Charse. Looks like. Thea and Charse take a point of damage as you just... And those of you who took damage, you just feel like this just wave of fatigue and nausea set in. You actually start to cough something up, and you like spittle out what looks like leftover milk and the bile that's kind of building up in your stomach as you look, and you can see like there's on one of the side panels that's hanging down from the wall. There's a warning, some sort of radiation warning. You also notice, and this is only Charles who notices this, as everybody else is a little bit uncertain. On the far side, like this is a fairly dark room again. The lights are flickering, so you can only occasionally get light, but you see this constant color shifting pattern from the opposite side of this long 30 to 40 foot like curving room beyond the security checkpoint area. It's this, and you realize after a moment that it's moving, and as you watch, it's very large, and it appears to be some kind of arachnid shape. You see 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 different legs, and it seems to be kind of like taking 2 or 3 of the front legs and just sort of stabbing it down into the ground. And you can see, Charles, that there is a body that it's stabbing into and just ripping bits and viscera that's just sort of flying and splattering all over the walls nearby it. It looks, I mean, it's like the size of a very large bear of some kind, but it's sort of spidery shaped.
So there's something impaling this creature?
Oh yeah, it's like ripping apart some body. The body looks like humanoid probably, but like it's this like the side, the spider's just enormous, and everything's kind of like its exterior. It just like the carapace or whatever it might be is constantly shifting in color. It's almost kind of drawing you in ever slightly. Like you have to like kind of shake your head because it's almost like you're watching some kind of like hypnotic pattern on a holovid.
I'm gonna try and be stealthier.
Is that the only way to go?
Yeah, so like remember this is just like a long ring, so you got to kind of pass this checkpoint. You could always backtrack obviously, but like because it's a ring, you can go either way, but that's what you see here.
Let everyone know behind me to be as careful as possible. It seems occupied.
Is there another way around?
Understatement
Yeah,
of the
we
year.
might wanna
This
go the other
seems
way.
occupied.
Yeah, you don't see another way around. Like you see, like you can backtrack. Like it's a ring, so like you guys are going one way or the ring. You could backtrack and go the other ring. It's a big circle, so like if they're all gonna like no matter which way you go, it eventually will come to the same place. Even though there are periodic like hull breaches that you might have to contend with along the ring. But you could certainly backtrack and go the opposite direction. Come back the way you came, where you saw the shadows in that one room, and go to the opposite side. Or you can try to sneak past
spider
it.
on the other side, and then what do? What do you guys think?
We obviously go forward. Heading back, there's a room. It's 0 G's. Complications. This
Well,
would
I
just...
have boots. Thea can handle that. We don't. I
We
say
don't
we
have time
go
for
back.
this. This planet's about to lose its orbit. It's collapsing.
Ilya moves forward and shoots her pistol.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
Oh
So you
no.
step
Good
up
call.
and you fire at this creature.
Mhm.
Sure, go right ahead.
Oh, you're shooting at Jesus.
I'm
Let me
going
get
to-
this stat block.
Let's
of it up.
yeah. Let's wait for that DR before you roll this attack.
I don't have to tell you. Hang on, let me pull it up.
Oh,
Did I
no.
mention that Steven and Stefan were both like quarter block away from this room? Like we were hanging back that far?
Mhm.
Everyone's in DR 14.
Yikes. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so 4 on your
I-
void corruption. How are you doing on your void corruption?
I've been spending it, so I only have 1 void point.
Okay, someone's gotta let that void corruption happen at some point. We gotta let it
Haven't
happen.
I'm
gotten
racking
it
I'm
yet.
racking mine up. I'm at 3 right now.
Thank you,
so-
Logan. Logan, team player. Rest of you, assholes. Okay, you take
It's not
you,
my
you
fault. I pass all my checks.
you fire, and you miss, and you can see that you hit. Looks like some sort of exhaust vent opposite it, and suddenly like mist begins to spray, and it. And you see it's looking, it's like kind of shifting, it's moving its body, and you can tell it freezes for a moment, and you're confident it's locked eyes on your party at this point. Who do you give the initiative to?
I just gave one of my pistols to Steven, and so I'm gonna, just kind of hold up my pistol and kind of point to the thing and just kind of point to Steven.
Okay.
All right, Steven will run away.
Thank
Oh
you,
my
too.
goodness, another complication.
Yes! I love it. This is so great. This never happens.
No, I will take a shot. I suppose I'll do it with advantage using a void point.
Okay.
Uh,
So you're in a room filled with a radiation leak with a giant spider creature and darkness up ahead. Hey, Oak, how's it going? Go ahead and fire away, DR14. That's another miss. Your void corruption's fine with a 6. Who do you give the?
I'm
the
also
initiative to?
backing up as well. I'm going all 15 meters backwards.
Sure.
And I will give the initiative to.
Not gonna help you.
Uh, let's go, Chars.
Sprint across
Uh,
the room as fast as I
Okay.
can.
You're just gonna run across the room. You're not gonna take a shot at it. You're just gonna try to run
Yes,
and bypass
just
it.
straight
Okay.
Double movement, dash action. Let's go.
Okay. I like it. Who do you give the
dash.
initiative to next?
Give it a Vess.
Okay.
Well, I should probably use one of these void points to make an attack if I'm trying not to die.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just tease. Like,
I know. So yeah, I'm gonna use my scrap gun, and I'm gonna risky attack it with my
Okay.
void point
all right.
to get advantage.
Okay.
DR14.
That
There
will
we go.
hit. There you go.
That's some big damage.
Ooh.
You, and you're gonna you get a little closer. Are you keeping track of your scrap gun ammo, by the way? Because I think you're
Yeah.
probably running low at this point. Yeah.
Well,
So-
if I didn't get it refilled between this campaign and the last campaign, then I would have 3 more shots left.
Yeah. We'll say you had a full clip to start tonight, and so just work back from a full clip. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Then 2 shots left.
sounds good. Okay, so you come up and you just as you see Charles making a run for it, and maybe as it's making a run, it kind of turns and sort of looks at Charles like it's getting ready to leap at it, and you take that moment. You see one of its legs just goes ripping right off, but it remains standing. Who do you give the initiative
Down,
to next?
7 to go.
I guess I'm giving it to Thea.
Okay.
Oh god. All right, I'm shooting it.
Quick,
Go
take
ahead.
the legs off. Without its legs, it can't move.
I'm gonna also make it risky.
Okay.
Oh, without
That's a
advantage.
miss.
Oh no!
Oh
Now
no!
it gets
Well,
like a
it
double
was
turn.
actually its turn anyway, but it'll get
It's not
a
its turn.
counterattack.
It's not. Now it's going to be able to make. First of all, it's going to be able to make a counterattack.
Yeah,
Then it's
and
going to be able to
then-
go.
Yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, because risky.
So first, what it's going to do is it's going to leap across the room and pounce on top of Thea. So
Rest
this
in
is
peace,
its
Thea.
is
No.
its counterattack. What's your DR?
My DR is 14.
Wow,
Okay.
Thea, we hardly knew you.
That's pretty
pretty
good.
good,
14's pretty
actually.
good, actually. Yeah. I'm sorry, that was private. I'll put it public. My bad. It did hit.
No, it was public.
Oh, you did see it? Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's
Perfect.
public.
Okay,
It's
good.
got plus
'Cause it
four.
was
I
a
thought I
hit.
was gonna miss for sure. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
3 points of damage. That's
Okay.
on. That's its opportunity attack,
Counter.
and it takes over initiative.
Yep.
Good night, sweet princess.
Then it's gonna. Then, hang on. There's a couple things that's gonna happen. I need you to roll a savvy check, Thea.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
You're gonna get paralyzed.
Failure.
Oh,
As
no.
this thing stabs right into it, it yanks out this huge, like almost metallic like leg. It just rips and wrenches it free. You can feel parts of your chrome body kind of go with it. You can see the lights just begin to pattern and flicker, and your eyes just start to kind of glaze, and you feel yourself falling into some sort of hypnotic stupor, and you lose your next round.
Okay.
As you are sort of, despite the pain, like you're just fascinated by this thing. Then it's going to, it's got control because the risky attack failed. So it's got control. It's going to move towards, I think Vess and
Yeah, you gotta kill me.
did the damage. So it'll be Vess, and then and this actually gets 2 attacks each round. I'm not going to do that for. I'm not going to do it for the opportunity attack. Obviously, that's just 1 attack. But it's going to get
Wow.
between. It's going
What
to
a
get between
benevolent
Vess and Ilya, and both of you will take an attack. So first attack will be on Vess. What's your DR?
10.
All right, here we go. Oh God, yours is terrible.
Yeah, please 5. Oh, the 2 was almost there.
It was so close. It was so closer too.
Okay,
3 points
at
of
least I'm-
damage.
I'm still standing at least.
And a savvy test for you as the flickering of the the carapace of this thing.
Oh, come on.
As you too begin to sort of get lulled into this false stupor. And then the second attack will be against Ilya. Ilya, what is your DR?
10.
10. Defense rating. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Guys should get some equipment. Oh boy. With his
Yikes.
+4, will hit max damage. So what this means is one of your
does it.
items.
That does it.
Okay, so you fall.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, not only that, but one of your items. What were you carrying?
My gun.
Okay, we'll say your gun. The condition of your gun is reduced by 1. As you're. Don't worry about making the savvy test because you fall, and you have a much more important test to make now. Is you have to make a body test to see if you just immediately die. Natural
That's a
20.
20.
Wow, she comes back up with 1
I'm
HP.
gonna say that. I like that. Natural 20. You fall. You're prone, but you are still conscious. We'll say you're like, as you'll say you have 1 HP, prone on the ground, and that's its turn. Who has not gone yet this round?
Everybody went.
Thanks. Yes.
Stefan.
Steven.
It is.
okay.
It is Stefan. No, Steven did go. Stefan. It is Stefan's turn.
He has a throwing weapon, and
Okay.
Steven is yelling for him to run for his life.
Okay.
I just hit this arachnid for 12 and it lost 1 leg, so I think we're pretty screwed here.
I did the wrong DR 14, so it would have missed. It would not
That
be.
is a miss. Yeah, you did a lot of damage. You you didn't one-shot it, but you've heard it significantly.
Okay.
I just said one leg just to flavor it. Like,
I'm like, oh Jesus!
if I took off as the amount of legs in terms of percentage wise, it wouldn't have many legs
It'd be rolling
left.
around.
It
It'd be
would
rolling
be
around.
rolling around. So yeah, you wounded it severely. Unfortunately, that does miss. However, Stefan does get to start the next round. So you can say, who do you want to go next?
The
Start a new round.
Vess lost his turn.
I
Vess
will
and
lose
Thea
my
did.
turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would
So
he
you
still
can
get to
give
choose
it-
who goes next?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with it.
Okay, then give it to Vess just to get that out of the way.
Yeah, I'll pass
Okay.
it to Thea.
And do the same thing for Thea. And then Thea, who do you want to go next? As you've seen Charles run across the room. He's out of danger. Charles, you could keep running, and it just me and you could play for the rest of the night. Or, you could give it to. It looks like Ilya took a horrible wound, but is on the ground. Is still alive. Actually, you see her. You thought she was dead, but she's rolling around. So you can give it to her if you want. You can give it to Steven. You can give it.
I'll give it to Ilya for now. Yeah.
Well, actually, Stefan didn't actually. Well, Stefan can still go. He can go at the end. That's fine. All right, so go ahead and Ilya, go ahead. What do you want to do?
Okay.
You're laying on the ground, freaking spiders on top of you. You've got your gun. It thinks it killed you. What do you want to do?
I want to look around this area.
You're rolling.
looking-
You're prone. Just remember. So be careful how much you try to do while you're prone.
I'm thinking about my telekinesis.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
So I'm looking for, now that I'm kind of stuck down here, I'm looking for something that is up to the size of a handheld object that I might be able to lift, pull, move, or alter the direction and speed of.
Sure.
What about an eye? Can you rip out one of its eyes?
It doesn't have eyes. No. And I think the telekinesis is about like projecting it, not pulling something out of a creature. That's a little OP.
like
Put
Mage
your
Hand.
eye into its intestines.
There's definitely debris, metal debris, shards of metal, sharp shards of metal. So you can easily probably do something like that if you like. Sure.
Telekinesis its heart out of its chest. Just crush it inside of its body.
Yeah. If the rules don't say you can't,
It's like loose versus strict constructionist theory. Is that what we're doing here?
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this lasts for a minute, so I'm going to find some metal shard and
Yeah.
move it with swift speed
Okay.
at this. I'm assuming, can I roll like an unarmed or something just to see if it...
Yeah.
Goes where I want it to go.
Ranged weapon, maybe.
I mean, it is a ranged weapon, but it's also a power. So I'm sort of like thinking, Melissa, I want you to do whatever you think is going to be most successful for your role. So if tech is better, it's going to be tech or savvy, because I think savvy is about like mind control. Telekinesis is like sort of using your mind. So if your savvy is better than your tech, roll savvy. If your tech is better, you can roll that. Whatever's better.
Yeah. Tech is definitely better.
What big words was I using, Steven?
Constructivist theory? I don't know what that is.
Constructionist theory.
Exactly. I don't know what the fuck you're talking
Constitutional
about.
theory. Like
21.
whether strict versus loose. Google. That is a hit. That is a hit. Roll a d6 for damage.
All right.
As you get up a particularly sharp and potent shard. Roll well. As the opposite. As you hear it as it kind of embeds right into its body. But we'll say, because you're still controlling it, you can kind of stab and pull it back out, so you still have it at the ready, because you said it lasts a minute. Okay, who do you want to have the next action?
So who hasn't gone?
I can't wait till this thing gets to go 2 turns in a row and does 4 straight attacks and just wipes the party. Charles
don't let
hasn't
it go
gone.
last again.
Stefan hasn't gone.
I don't think I've gone either this time.
And Steven hasn't gone. Okay.
Okay. I'll pass to Steven.
All right, Steven.
Probably would have been better off passing to Stefan with my stats.
Steven.
I will.
I kill both your characters.
There's no H in that name. Stefan. I'll shoot at my pistol and keep running backwards.
Okay, you're now. I would say if you run any further backwards, you're running through this sort of like the passage and kind of the sort of the airlock bulkhead area.
Where I need the
and,
magnetic boots.
back into the gravity. Yeah, so you'd be like going through. Yeah. Think of it like a double, almost like an airlocked area as it sort of segments these different dock sections.
I'm fine with that. If I pop the shot off first and then start going that way, if there's no gravity, that's better for me because I have boots
you're fine.
and it doesn't.
Sure.
So I will use advantage again with the void point
Absolutely.
because I need it.
That's a hit for sure.
There we go.
3 points of damage. It is not looking good as you blow another one of his legs off, and there's now down to just 6. Still standing, though.
Stefan, run!
No, we must help these poor people. They don't know what they're doing. 2 of them are just staring at it. Is Stefan
And I'll
going
pass
next?
to Stefan.
What do you want him to do? He's yours
I
to
want him to
control.
run. He threw his throwing weapon, so I'd assume he doesn't have anything else, right?
Yeah, we can say he picks up something else and throws it. That's fine. Like, you can say you pick something else
Okay.
and throw it.
He'll pick up another piece of sharp scrap metal and throw that as he
Sure.
continues to run next to me.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll tech. That hits. Roll damage. 2
I keep
points of
forgetting
damage.
to change the DR. I'm sorry,
It's
but it
fine.
worked anyways.
It's okay. 19 is fine. That is enough. Describe how Stefan kills this thing.
So Stefan apparently is the hero in this family and wants to save everyone. So he'll go and he'll see a kind of like an access hatch for like some wires or a console, and he'll just rip that door off because it already looked broken, and he will just fling it like a frisbee, and it will just lodge itself into this creature.
A spider, catch! And he just flings it. Okay, yeah. And you see the
and
spider.
He plays ultimate frisbee. You know, he did that back in college, so he's really an expert at this.
And as the carapace kind of collapses inwards, where the door, like the panel, hits it, you can see the flickering of that ever-shifting exterior color dissipates, and it becomes this like dark, not quite black, and just collapses to the ground, twitching a few times, and then goes completely limp.
And Steven is still running. It takes a couple more steps before he realizes, before Stefan.
Steven, it is dead. I have slain the monster. I am a hero.
Oh, yeah. Nice job, Stefan. You see what? That's
Thank
what
you.
I'm saying.
Danke.
What would they do without us?
Everybody go ahead and roll condition for your weapons. Except for you, Long. You didn't actually fire yours. So if you fired a gun or something like that, just roll your condition for it.
Man, what a glorious leader we have.
It's always going to come back to that.
Hey, if you followed me, you would have been unarmed. Look at me.
Oh my god. Oh, it's so funny.
Oh no.
Stefan's frisbee broke.
Yes, Stefan's throwing weapon is now broken. Oops, wrong button. Okay, my bad. All right, so those of you who were hypnotized by this creature's the color shifting carapace, you have now regained your control. You kind of shake it off a little bit. Some of you have wounds, but no one's surprisingly dead. That could have gone horribly wrong.
I was very close. I'm at 1 at this
With
point.
our initial rolls, I thought it would go that way.
Well, I mean, so Logan, you did 2/3 of its health in one
Yeah.
shot.
Let's thank the Lord Scrap Gun for coming in clutch.
That was
Saving up
18
those
health.
void points for the risky attacks.
Yeah, 18 health. You do 12 points of damage. You do 2/3. I'm like, damn. However,
Meanwhile, if Ilya stubs her toe, she's gonna die.
and
Yeah, I'm at 2 HP.
and you do notice you guys are feeling really nauseous, and you can feel like you're ready to vomit again. You can tell, like, on the panels, like you're looking at some of these consoles that are flickering. There's radiation in this area. Prolonged, staying in here is going to continue over time, and you're not sure how quickly. But you feel another surge of bile shifting up, suggesting that if you don't get out of here very, very quickly, you might actually be taking more damage from this.
It's not just a warm and tingly feeling inside.
I'm gonna ask Thea if she remembers where the docking bay that we were told about is from here, and how long it's gonna take us to get there.
Yeah, and she'll rattle off I was informed that it will take approximately however many minutes.
In ideal conditions, it would probably take you in the span of 15 minutes to fully go around, but obviously these aren't ideal conditions.
Is Charles just long gone at this point?
He took the shuttle down. He's gone. Charles, you're up ahead. Why don't
Because he
you
kept running.
Charles, why don't you actually roll a savvy as you start to move through into the next room?
failed finally.
Okay. All right.
He's
It's
like,
completely,
yay, avoid point.
completely and utterly dark. No lights whatsoever as you kind of move through that kind of bulkheaded airlocked area that separates these docks for emergency situations. And you look ahead, and it is pitch black.
I'll crack up flashlight, see if that works.
Do you have one? Oops,
Yeah, I do.
wrong button.
Model P78C.
You, as you start shining it around, you notice that there are these... When the light hits it, you start to see these strands of almost like metallic thread and webbing here and there. And the further you start to shine the light into the room, you can see it starts to bulk until you see webbing. And as the light goes over top of it, you can see it becomes like this rainbow-like look to it. Like when you look at like an oil slick and you can start seeing the different colors begin to manifest. But it only happens when you shine the light over it. And it's kind of in the far recesses of this docking section of the ring. You can even see it flickering on the far end. Like this, it almost looks like this whole area is just kind of coated one degree or another in this webbing. You start moving in. Otherwise, the room seems to be fairly structurally sound. You don't see any kind of major like collapsing of the walls. There doesn't seem to be as much scavenging done in this room. There's some damage, sure, but it's probably the most intact room you've been in thus far. You also notice 3 of those individuals from before, similar to, but they seem to be kind of stuck or trapped in this webbing, and they're kind of thrashing about. It's almost like they're like caught, like a fly in a spider's web. What would you like to do?
Are the strands in the way? Is it possible to like avoid it?
Yes.
Like go under over?
Yes, you're either going to have to make dex or body checks to move. So either dex to try to avoid it, or body checks to just sort of push through them. And this goes for anybody who tries to bypass this room.
Yeah, I'll try going through, just avoiding it, avoid touching anything, best as possible.
Okay. All right. Dex or body, whatever you prefer. The rest of you, I assume, are following. Is that right? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You start following.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see Charles.
Steven and Stefano follow.
Yes, we must hurry up. This is the only one who wants to get off. Everyone wants to stay around and play with spiders. Okay.
Successful using void.
Yeah, so you're very carefully, like, kind of climbing on top of consoles, maybe, like, swinging from a pipe and hopping over to, like, this different security checkpoint. You're kind of navigating very carefully. Ilya, you get caught as you start trying to push through. The good news is that you do feel the nausea begin to subside in this room. But as you're pushing through, you can feel the strands. It almost feels like it's sticky, but at the same time, it feels like sort of metallic fishing line as it kind of cuts and wraps into your skin at the same time, whatever skin is exposed. And you find yourself, after you've taken 10, 15 steps into the room, just trudging to the point where your legs are now completely stuck by this thing and you just can't move. Who else is
God
moving into the room?
Damn it. Can
Before
somebody cut me out?
before I move into the room, can I try and take one of the spider's fangs?
Sure, yeah.
Can I like not just like the fang, but like the whole like venom sac and all, just like rip it out? How big would you say it is? Is it like
The
is it
body
something I
of the
could use one-handed?
you could I mean, I would say you
Stab
can
into
use
someone.
Yeah, we could treat it like a melee weapon. We'll do like a d6 damage, and then we'll have like a lingering effect where if someone gets hit by it, they have to roll a body test or take poison damage, like take a d4
Hell
or
yeah.
like something like that. We'll just hack it as we go.
I'm the weapons hoarder right now.
Yeah, so it takes a couple of moments, so you're going to be back. So you're probably the last one through as everyone else kind of boosts forward.
You
as
said
linger
body
back.
or dexterity?
Body or just body to just try to physically to push through it, like you're not trying to avoid it. Dex to try to avoid getting stuck on some of these things. Stefan, you're able to both move with grace.
Yeah, we'll follow Charce's path that he led for us.
Does anybody actually? And Thea, you're having no trouble either. Does anyone actually help? Or are we just gonna leave her? I'm cool.
Doesn't
with
appear
that.
like it. No.
No, so I just want to do like dex to make sure I don't get touched by anything, and then
Sure.
can I use like my melee combat weapon to help cut her out?
Yeah. I don't see why not. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
and you can do it. No roll required. I'm just
Family.
gonna take a bit. As you're cutting through, it's taking a while.
Yeah.
Roll a savvy test, Thea.
Failure.
Okay. Nothing to worry about. And by this point, we'll say you managed to Vess conclude cutting and carving out, and you have like this strange. It's almost like it's dripping like this, almost dark sea green, nearly black blood on the ground. As you move into the next room, and you can see it's coated in this like metallic red. You see the spots of light here and there. You see Thea is trying to carve out Ilya, who's caught in these webs. You see Stefan, Steven, Charles, who they're almost like kind of moving through a jungle, like swinging off of a pipe, landing on top of what looks like a console, like hopping and almost like balance beaming itself like across what looks like a railing to try to avoid all of this. Roll a savvy test before you start moving.
Sure. Man, I'm racking up the nat ones today.
Okay, don't worry about it. Not important.
I guess I will try and help Ilya out of the. Web.
Okay, so you step up, and you kind of give her a hand. I don't mean you'll get the two of you helping will get her free, and we'll say, with the three of you together, you can kind of hack and slash and sort of push your way through a little bit. It takes you a little bit longer, but eventually you get kind of to the other side of this docking area, and you can see there is Charles, and there are Stephen and Stefan kind of waiting to move forward.
And you see Ilya is just almost manically just having to get like every last bit of spider web off of her, like trying to clean everything off, and is just like very cautiously tiptoeing kind of, and she's kind of starting to do that, like, are we there yet?
How much
Soon?
further could it be, right?
Are we almost there?
We have only made it through 2 rooms.
Oh, damn it.
How many
Okay.
rooms are there?
More than 2,
like-
apparently.
Thea
I-
just kind of like closes her eyes. Let us continue.
I guess now would be a good time for me to activate my origin benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So in case anyone's new, my origin benefit is future memory, since I'm a velocity cursed and I kind of transcend space and time. There's often places I've been and I'm not quite familiar with, but I can kind of access this future memory, and it kind of reminds me that I have been here before. It's kind of like a little flashback, a little bit of deja vu, and I can ask the DM for directions and kind of see how much farther we have to go.
So, you know that the next room likely is going to have 2 options for you. You can continue around the exterior of the ring, going from these different sort of docking security stations to different docking security stations, and there'll be a couple to go. But again, Thea, you know that there are breaches in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a corridor that connects to that central diamond spire, into which the bridge, the engineering, and like the living quarters and other types of things are. There'll be a connecting pathway between the next sort of security section and that. So that's another way to do it, and that could kind of like cut through the middle. And there's other of those sort of connecting spokes that'll go to other parts of the ring as well. So it's a way of kind of possibly bypassing some of these dock breaches.
That's what Thea's looking for, is the nearest one.
It was like Dock 7 that we saw that ship was at, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this could be a good time for Steven to activate his origin benefit.
Okay.
He'll pull out a pocket greenhouse and a bag of seeds, and he'll rip the bag off and start planting his seeds into this greenhouse. just for future oxygen in like 7 to 9 days.
That sounds so helpful. I'm so
said that-
glad you did
I was
that.
hoping you were going to grow some healing herbs in like half
Yeah.
a second so we could all stock up before the
Right?
final
I'm
battle.
sorry.
What about?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I couldn't resist.
anytime you guys want to try to salvage for stuff, just let me know. It just means lingering in an area and searching for things it's possible to salvage. And you also would know that there is a med bay in the Diamond Spire.
No time.
If we have an option to shortcut through that spire and possibly avoid some of the damage in the outer ring, that would be helpful because
Yeah.
Illy has sort of been like wheezing and like struggling quite a bit.
Yeah, Steven just wants to get to the ship and get off this station.
Okay.
So- Illy is going to start wandering down the hallway that goes toward the center V and is sort of looking behind to make sure.
Okay, so that was just his vision. As you move into the next docking area where this connects, Chars, you notice a few things. First,
I don't like your
Most-
tone. I think you need to slow down a little bit right
you
now.
slow down. You notice hanging from the ceiling are these cocoons
God.
that are definitely large enough to be holding various individuals. A few of them seem to be kind of shifting or swaying in some ways, and you see more of that webbing, but it's not as ever present. But you do, in fact, I mean, like everything that Vess said was correct. Everything he predicted. There does seem to be signage that goes towards Central Spire, and then you see there's signage that goes towards, the next wing of the docking.
Starting to see why they nuked this place. It's infested.
I would like to cut open at least one of these cocoons. I hate to say it because I know Jeff will turn it on us somehow.
What?
But I have to see what's in there.
Why would you do such a thing? Do you really want to do that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't, but I do.
Can you wait till
I
the
have
rest
to
of us
now.
are on the other side of a door?
I'm pretty sure I was the second one through the room behind Chars. So, no.
So no, this is happening. Buckle up.
Okay. So you want to do one of the
another complication too.
You want to do one of the shifting ones?
1,000 miniature
No,
spiders come
no,
out.
I would like to see one that's not twitching or moving,
Okay.
But looks bulky and might have a rifle or a pistol on them. Give me the one with the
They're-
Out
treasure.
of a cocoon, you think you're going to
They're all
find a
egg.
weapon?
They're all egg sacs of this spider.
Whichever one has loot is the one I want to open.
You saw the spider tearing someone apart, and then we find all these wrapped up. I swear they're egg sacs. They're
I'm
gonna be
sorry,
full of
y'all.
egg
I might kill us
Million
all.
baby
I'm sorry.
spiders.
Which
Okay.
cocoon has an exclamation point over it?
Which one has the waypoint?
Can we take one and put it through, and we'll take it to the med bay, put it through the X-ray machine, so we can kind of get an idea of what's inside of it before we start cracking this thing open. We'll
Okay.
TSA security check.
Steven, what are you actually doing?
Well, first of all, let's say I'm going to use my handheld material analyzer to look at the webbing here.
Okay, yeah, it's it is actually some sort of metal. It's a metal mesh weave that you think likely could, in different times, with the right fabrication materials, possibly create some really nice sort of mesh components. Could be protective suits, could be some kind of like survival gear, that kind of thing. Obviously, that's something that would require a significant expenditure of time. But
And I'm not a capitalist, so I don't need to start a company making new web metal.
Is it organic?
that is harder to tell. You're carrying what you get the sense it has the same sort of blending of organic and non-organic or material that chromes do. In that sort of like it sort of seems like a bioorganic compound of some kind.
After that, sorry, go ahead.
I have a glove that's from a stolen prototype spacesuit. Can we say that it's made out of the same material?
Absolutely, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yours definitely looks like it's been refined and it's gone through. Yeah, like, and it's like this sort of nano weave that looks to be pretty impressive. This stuff is still like it's in its kind of cruder state, and it still has that kind of weird trick of the light. When you hold the light up to the hand, it doesn't do that. Like somehow through the process of the manufacturing process. Otherwise, that could be a very distracting thing to look at.
Well,
Charles, let me give this to Charles because he's at point.
Sorry, go ahead.
Charles, you notice some of the sort of the web lines in here as Steven goes in to start kind of cut. Or Steven, are you cutting the cocoon open?
I'm going to after I analyze it. Yes.
Okay, but you're going to start to cut into it after you've.
Yeah, I wouldn't actually cut it. I don't have a knife, so I would just be like trying to pull it open with my
Sure,
hands.
that's fine. That's fine. Take a little longer, but you can do it. As you know, you can stand on top of something, you start pulling one of the cocoons down, you start wrenching it, ripping it free. Charles, you notice that some of the lines in here of webbing are just ding, just sort of moving like there's like these very subtle vibrations in them here and there. And they kind of just, you see them just disappear off into darkness.
I'll turn to Steven and warn him. I don't think you should be doing that. This movement maybe already alerted them.
God damn it.
Would
Oh
you
my
be able
gosh.
to warn me in time? My curiosity is pretty strong here.
You, as you're pulling open, you see this desiccated body
Yep.
fall
I knew
out.
that.
Still covered in some of this like sticky bits.
Tell me he's got a rifle. Tell me there's
You
loot in here.
see suddenly scurrying out of like its mouth, like the eye sockets, the ears, these will almost look like either stab wounds, all these tiny little swarms of arachnids just start swarming on out. Roll a savvy test, first of all.
frantically-
Yeah, roll a savvy
frantically
test to see how scared you
wiping
are. at this.
everything off of me. I don't care if any of them even got on me. I'm just trying to scratch them all off.
Oh no.
Yep. That's par for the
Steven
course.
is consumed and brought into the cocoon.
Take a point of damage as your mental psyche begins to break. You start smashing and stabbing at yourself, and in doing so, you're like jamming these tiny little fangs into your arm. You feel like this strange, like numbness begin to cover. But
You're really
you-
going to cause me 33% damage for that?
just because you have no HP. Yes, I am. You do notice
fair.
that they're wearing some kind of army uniform. You see an army unit insignia. You see some kind of like heavy duty like mercenary watch that kind of has all sorts of these different internal readings, like kind of monitoring. Kind of. Basically like a super smartwatch. You see this like deck of playing cards flop out of its pocket and like they spill out. There's all these little holographic cards that begin to fall out. And you notice like there's a rifle strap of some kind and in back in like the sack behind him, like you have to like kind of peel the body. You have to reach down and pull the body out. You can actually see what looks like some kind of sort of rifle butt, and
I don't want it anymore, Jeff. I don't want it anymore. You ruined it for me.
sorry,
It shoots baby spiders.
it's called Death in
yeah,
Space,
yeah.
not
No, you're right,
rainbows and unicorns in space.
I will try to pry it off him without agitating any more of these tiny spiders.
Sure, Charles, you notice that the vibrations are getting much heavier.
Oh God.
You
Yeah.
also now notice that a second thread from a different direction that's going out towards where like a shuttle bay would be, similar to where you all woke up, is also beginning to vibrate. So you have these two threads that are beginning to vibrate.
When Charles first said something, Thea would have like rushed through the room to go towards the doorway to leave.
Okay.
I'll leave him as bait and finesse my way across.
Okay. So you're just leaving him. Okay, good. So Thea, and you're going towards the pathway that goes towards the spire.
The center,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you get up to it and you realize that, like, as you go to try to, you get through the first door just fine. Remember, each of them have these like double doors for like these security purposes in case they ever have to expunge a section. You try to push the second, and like, it's something's kind of blocking it on the other side. What are Vess and Ilya doing?
So I'm gonna watch. So I've kind of been watching Steven open up this sack because I don't like people doing weird shit around me without me being aware of it. And I have a distillery kit on me. So can we say that I both have flame and alcohol? You think that makes sense?
I have a fusion welder.
Maybe
if
I'm
you're
like
looking for flame.
I will say, if you're
Shiner
looking
and
to
shiner.
set the webs on fire, you do know they are metallic, and you're not sure how flammable they would be.
Bodies are flammable.
That's fair. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
You
Clothing's
said army
flammable.
uniform.
I'll say
Yeah.
you have one use of it. So if you want to
Oh,
use it now,
jeez.
you can do it.
Ugh, really putting me in a hard spot here now.
Doesn't mean you can't find more uses of it if you delve further
know.
into the...
I know, waste more time, get more nauseous,
For more,
get crushed by
ferment more
gravity,
dead
fall out of
spiders.
orbit.
No radiation in here.
That's nice.
It'll be okay.
It feels real nice in here right now with all the
Feels really
tiny
nice.
spiders,
It's really nice.
hanging bodies, decrepit.
Shaking
I'm just-
threads.
I guess as I see him, as spiders start coming out, I'm gonna like hurry out of the room. Just be
Okay.
like, we need to get the fuck out of this
Okay.
place.
Perfect. Ilya, what are you doing?
How big are the spiders?
The ones that poured out of the...
Yeah.
Their size like cockroaches.
Bigger than we'd still like.
I don't know if this is gonna work. But I have like duct tape / Flex Seal tape. I want to just take like a big like strip of it
Okay.
and just see how many I can just like trap on. Like,
All right, roll a d10.
Okay. Six.
You have 6 spiders that are stuck and trapped to the underside of this tape.
How much was that in comparison to how many spiders there were?
A very small portion.
Okay.
I'm sorry that I did this to you.
Okay.
Steven did save me, so I felt like I needed to try to help him.
At that moment, as Steven is pulling the gun out from behind this guy, and as Ilya is trying to catch spiders, the two of you see emerging from the deep recesses of kind of the shuttle cargo bay corridor. You can see, like, popping out of a vent, you see this color shifting spider, not as big as the one that you fought, but probably half its size, like maybe an adolescent size. And then you kind of see from the other side of the room, other side of the checkpoint area, towards the further, like if you continue to follow around the ring, you can kind of see the same kind of colors. You can see these two spiders beginning to converge. Meanwhile, Chars and Thea, you are both still trying to push this door open. What do you want to do? It seems to be sort of, you're not sure if it's stuck or if it's jammed or if there's something on the other side. What do you want to do?
What do you think?
Maybe take a closer look, see if there's something in the way that we can see here.
Sure. Just looking, like, high or low, long?
Low.
Okay, roll a d100. Okay.
Okay, two.
So doesn't seem to be like, there's to be like a porthole window in here, but you are able to get the door open ever so slightly. And you can tell that on the other side, you can see something flop to the ground. When you look in, you see like this blackened, charred, like limb. You think it might be an arm. Feels like there's a body or two on the other side that's blocking this. A good hard push with a body check might get it open quickly.
Could I help him with that? Could we both do it?
I'll say whoever got the better body check, just roll it at advantage.
I have minus
my-
1.
Same.
Okay, go ahead and roll it, Chars. You were the one who had the idea, so go ahead and do it. At advantage.
All right.
Okay.
Level 11.
So-
11.
You're trying to push, and you just, it's like slow, it's like it won't like just blow open, but it's slowly, it's like something's caught underneath the door and it's sort of dragging, and you're trying to push it open, and that's when you hear the sounds of like the skittering coming from behind you, and you realize that this thing's closing on you. So like you're going to get it open, but it's going to be a moment. Ilya and Steven, you see these two creatures. Steven, you just reached and you grab this gun. Let me go ahead and put it. Do you want it on your character sheet or do you want it on
Are
Stefan's?
you saying that I'm going to die and Stefan is going to get the gun? Is that why you're asking?
Who? No, I'm just asking who
Steven
she
would take the gun first until he dies, and then he'll hand it off in his will
Okay.
with everything else to Stefan.
Okay.
Can I
It is
run up? Can I, at this point, can I run up and see them trying to push the door open and try and like kick it open?
Yeah, you're going to be there in a second, so I'm just going to give the
Okay.
two of them something to do, and then we'll come to you. So it's got 2 condition, and it's got 4 ammo. Okay, everything looks good right now. So there you go. It's a marksman barrel.
Nice, thank you very much.
So you see these two you see these two alien spiders just kind of charging in at you, Ilya, with your tape filled with tiny spiders, and Steven with the scavenged sniper rifle. What do you do? You see that they're charging in at you. What do you want to do?
Steven's going to run.
Okay.
So I have a fusion welder.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I'm thinking it's something fire.
Yeah, I mean it's for welding purposes.
I'm wondering if I can like tape it in such a way so that it stays on and tries to, like, I want
You want to use it as a weapon?
to use it as a weapon against the larger spiders.
Are you gonna? So you're gonna fight them? Are you standing still and you're gonna fight them, or are you running?
And the-
Everyone else has ran out of the room. Just so
Yeah,
you
like
know.
I want to see if I can, like, I don't know exactly how they work, but I want to see.
You know the
it's
scene
almost
from
like,
Jurassic Park where Jeff Goldblum's waving the flare at the T-Rex?
That's so perfect.
I want to see if I can try to, if it has some sort of like a trigger or something that I can tape on and just like throw it while it's flaming at one of the incoming spiders and then run the other way.
Okay. Roll a tech roll. This will be both to get the tape on appropriately and to throw it. We'll just 2 for 1 it because they're
Okay.
both tech rolls. So
Yay,
you quickly get a
18.
piece of tape whoosh, and you just hurl it
Nice
at
job.
the closest spider, and you can see it like it leaps back as like the torch kind of lands. And I'll even say that it might do is it just sort of like cuts into the wire a bit, sort of cuts through the wire, and you see it just sort of collapse down off of the thread. It doesn't set it on fire so much as it just like cuts through that wire. It falls down, it kind of, you almost see it turn over, and it takes a second to sort of stun it as it scrambles. Now I need you to make a dex, see if you can get out of this room before the other one leaps on you.
Yeah, that is what I'm not so good at. That's a 10.
Okay. The other one will leap on you.
Yay, me and my 1 HP.
Okay. Let's see. This is going to be... What is your...
10.
All right, 1 sec. Let me just adjust something really quick.
You're gonna kill me.
It gets +4, so you're hoping for like a 5.
No, this
or-
one's, this one's lower.
Oh, okay. Smaller spider.
So this is a 10. You said I'm going against?
Yes.
Okay, as it leaps, and it tries to get you. But it misses as it leaps. You
Wow.
sort of duck down. This thing goes hurling past, and it lands and kind of turns around, skitters, and they both begin to charge at you as you're now at this point running for the door. We're gonna say, without having to make a roll at this point, we're gonna say that Vess gets there, and that adds an extra oomph as you hear the sounds of like the skittering coming behind you. You see now Steven running up, and then you see like one you see one of them from behind Steven just hurl itself across the room. And who knows if it landed anybody, but that's where we're at as you now push the door open, and you see this long corridor that kind of has like you can see that there's a handful of these viewing ports on the side here and there, but you see like there's charred remains of bodies, and there's also charred remains of what looks like more cocoons, these bodies of these spider creatures and stuff. There's a handful of those, but the whole way is just completely charred. It looks like it's a good like 100 sort of yard stretch as you start to. Do you run, or do you kind of turn back to try to wait or help for Ilya?
I would definitely be running. No offense. Ilya, but I
You
have
push
not
past
met you
everyone
before
like
more
George
than an
Costanza
hour
at a
ago.
birthday party.
Yeah,
Yours is already way ahead of you, man.
If there's a fire, I have to lead the way so people know which way to go.
Okay. Charse, you and Thea are out in front, so do you two just burst through and start running?
Yeah, I haven't stopped, so.
Okay, so you run. Then next up would be I think it would be Vess would be the next one up. Are you running, or are you hanging back? What are you doing?
I'm trying to stick with the group at this point.
Okay, so
Strength
you're
in
with them?
numbers. Yeah.
Steven, Stefan, you're running as well.
Yeah,
Steven,
I would
Stefan, you're
hand
the
off my pistol to Stefan as well.
Okay, Stefan.
I should say Ilya's
friends. I am very good at shooting. Watch, I can shoot out the window.
He's a better shot than I am, to be fair.
Do you leave the door open, or do you close the door on Ilya?
Ilya's not far behind, right?
You don't see her.
I would close the door.
Oh shit!
I'm sorry, Ilya.
Slam the
I'm
door
not
shut.
trying to be an asshole as a player, but as a character, Steven, I think, would close the door.
Okay, you slam the door shut. Ilya, in the inside, you just watch one of these spiders lunge for you. You start running. You go right around the corner, and you see just down this pathway towards that inner corridor that goes to the Diamond Spire. You see the door just slam shut, which means you have to spend a
I feel
movement
so
to run
shitty
up
about that. I'm sorry.
and spend an action to sort of open it at this point.
I will try to do that.
Okay, so you run up, you spin, and you push the door open, and right as you do, one of the spiders will leap at you as well.
Okay.
As the door is now open, Stefan, you look over your shoulder, you see Ilya trying to like the door swings back open. You're probably about 15 steps away, and another one of these spiders will leap out and try to like kind of sort of get itself through the door and sort of spike onto Ilya at the same time. 10, you said?
Yes.
Okay. I miss again with a 9.
Wow.
As maybe you slam the door just in time, and you hear the spider just slam against the other side. Roll a body test to see. We'll do a contested body test and see if you can kind of get the door shut on your own.
You
Uh-oh.
can do this. You can do this.
Oh God.
Oh, that's a 10.
Don't take that void point. This isn't a test. This is just a contested. So
Okay.
this does have a +2 to its roll. So normal.
Oh,
Jeff, you
wow.
suck.
I'm rolling terrible. That's 3 bad rolls in a row. You're so lucky. As this, you see one of its legs like kind of shift through as it's trying to keep the door, and you just whoom, slam it shut, and it snaps, and you hear the vague sounds like echoing through the metal of the door of that spider just screeching in pain as this twitching little leg of the spider moves around the ground. You spin the door shut, you turn around, and you just see a corridor of charred blackness, and you see everybody running.
And
do you run
Ilya
as
just
well?
yells like, "Hey everybody, I'm actually still alive." Like,
I
runs to
kept the
get
door open for you.
Steven just shoots Ilya as she comes through the door. You
Okay.
weren't supposed to make it this far.
All right.
I'm so sorry.
Jeff, you could not roll against me for anything.
I was 3 really bad rolls. One of them needed to hit, and you were dead. Like I had 3
I
chances
know.
to kill you, and
I know.
hey, you guys see the rolls. That's why I like rolling in the open for attacks and stuff like that. The only thing I hide from you guys is like random encounter stuff because I don't want you to know what's coming. Okay, like I just did right there.
Enough with the stuff
I'm
coming. Just
sorry.
let us get out of here.
You gave me a pistol. You were so nice to me, and I'm sorry.
You're like, I don't know if we can trust this girl. Here's a gun. I'm gonna lock you in this room.
It
with
was
these
gonna be so
spiders that I
funny.
aggravated.
Like if I opened the door to try to save myself and then it jumped on me and killed me and then went in through the open door after you guys. That's what I thought was going to happen.
That's what I thought you were trying to do. You're like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna kill you.
I'm not dying alone.
So, am I going to be able to find a med bay to get myself something to heal myself with?
It depends on what you guys want to do. As Charles is up in front, you push open the door and you enter into some sort of promenade. Meaning, like, you can see it's almost like it's like a food court thing going on here. As you see it, like entertainment, like these small entertainment venues here and there. You see like these malfunctioning holographic displays of like advertisements trying to beckon you towards this like noodle bar here, and you've got what looks like some kind of actual pub over there, and they're flickering and not necessarily working. The kiosks are like they're not displaying what they're supposed to display. You look like there seems to be a lift of some kind that goes up and down depending on, you know, where you want to go. As you're roughly in the center of this spire, you can see that there are a handful of like tables bolted to the ground here and there, and a couple of these small little booths, almost like a mall, like a mall food court. You can see these like little booths here and there. Lighting is mostly coming from what looks like menu signs. You don't see anybody in here, but there's probably about 5 or 6 different places to either get food, booze of some kind. None of them seem to be, you know, functional, but you're getting light from it. You do see signs that seem to be pointing, like there's 4 different spoke of like those sort of corridors like you just came down. There's the one you just came from, 3 more, and there also is the elevator that goes like up and down.
So
what do you guys want to
the
do?
Center of the space station then?
You are at the center of it, yeah.
Well, Stephen, first of all, would say that he just planted some cilantro and basil, and when it grows, he would be happy to offer some to Ilya if she would like it.
That's great. Way to think ahead.
I thought you were out. I didn't see anyone coming. I'm really sorry. If I'd known you were still in there, I would have never closed that door.
Yeah, it's fine. Like Ilya's not like harboring any ill will towards you. She's looking for some kind of a map sign.
Kiosks seem to, like there's these display kiosks that are malfunctioning, but I want to give it to Thea and Charles first, as they're the first ones into this. So what are you two doing as you get the first option, as you hear like the sounds of like cyberpunk futuristic music beginning to pipe through the speakers in the area?
I'll just see if she knows which one of these takes us to Station 7.
Yeah, according to the map that I viewed, we should be heading this way. And she'll start heading towards it.
Yeah, that's fine. If you just want to go straight for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is anybody else doing anything at this point? So, Charles, are you going with her or just...
Oh, yeah, of course.
But leading the way, of course.
Okay. Following but leading the way.
I'll make sure to sprint ahead of everyone.
It's like, no. I'll go first.
Just slightly increasing his walking speed every time someone starts to catch up. I'm going to run like tertiary.
It's the second one in
Gotcha.
he gets shot at, not the first.
And so bringing up the rear, you see Steven, you see then right behind Steven comes in Ilya. You see the same thing. You see this sort of food court promenade, multi-tiered. You see lifts that goes up and down. You see kind of signs going here. These kiosks are supposed to probably be like holo displays or kind of powered down. What do you guys want to do? And don't forget, there is like emergency warning lights kind of everywhere at this point.
Again, Ilya, like I'd give you your pistol back, but I already gave it to Stefan. I promised it to him. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, you're wasting time. It's so not important. And she's looking for like a first aid kit that might be up and about somewhere.
You want to take time to look around? Sure.
Yeah.
Roll a savvy test.
Me and my 1 HP.
Stephen would feel very bad, so he would hang out and just kind of like help her try to find it.
I cannot find anything to heal me, apparently. That's a 1.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's we already got that before.
Would I
You
be able to
find
give her
the-
advantage
all you
by
f-
trying to help her?
You can roll yourself if you like. Hey, Diesel Shot, thank you for the raid.
Welcome.
We are about 5/6 of the way through our Death in Space adventure tonight. Steven, you fail as
Sorry.
well. Okay.
I am
The
failing
only-
Ilya left and right.
The only thing you find medical, Ilya, as the two of you are now left behind, by the way, you are now separated from the rest of the groups. You find some what
What
look
about
like
Stefan?
medical needles. Stefan is, of course, with you. You find like a bunch of medical needles from a pack. It clearly was from a med pack, but you don't find anything else, like nothing else that might help you. Like hypodermic needles that are still like kind of like in their packs. Steven, let's find something useful for you. No, that's too useful. That's way too useful. That's way too useful. No, come on.
All right. That's enough rolls. Let's go with the first
No.
one.
This is too much fun. There's some cool shit in here. You find some goggles, some low light goggles that would actually let you
God
see in the
damn it.
dark. Here we go.
Goggles. That's it.
I rolled magnetic
I just
boots 3
saved Ilya's
times,
life
so I'm like, he already had
by
magnetic
staying
boots.
back with her.
What? You almost got her killed. You shut a door on her. Don't try to gaslight the rest of us. We have it recorded, sir.
I'm sorry. Goggles. Is that under equipment here?
Mm-hmm.
I would offer the goggles to Ilya. I don't know what these do, but hey, they seem kind of useful, you know?
Maybe they'll keep something from stabbing me in the eye.
Yeah, you know, OSHA safety always says wear protective glasses.
Okay, so while the two of you are searching around in this promenade courtyard area, the other three, you push through, you head to the other spoke, you're trying to get to the other side where the cargo bay 7 would be, where that last remaining orbital shuttle, according to the inventory of the computer, is. As you're moving across, and when you enter into this corridor, same thing. You have those like viewing ports. You look out and you can see like the circular ring is just like heavily damaged. You also, if you look out one direction, you can see this dark blue planet that you seem to be descending into, and you can feel like the sort of the shivering in the walls, like the shaking a bit. You see like even in this area, like there's some sort of damage to like the structural pathway. As the three of you are passing through, you don't notice as there's some kind of behind one of the panels here, there's like something explodes and just like wrenches free. You see like the actual cover panel, like this emergency panel, like just cuts all the way across, nearly, cutting Charles's face right off as it embeds into the other side of the wall. You see this whole mess load of steam just fire down at the group of you, kind of separating you ever so slightly. Charles, you kind of stumble forward. Thea, you probably get the worst of it and stumble back. Your eye is kind of covered. And then Vess, you're a little bit behind, so you were able to kind of stop. But before you're able to do anything, you see as this beam over top falls right on top of Thea, pinning her to the ground. Thea, what's your DR?
14.
You take 2 points of damage as this thing collapses onto you, pinning you to the ground. You can feel like the pain just radiate through your leg as you are stuck. What do Charles and Vess want to do? Just shoot her? Put her out of her misery?
Yeah, is her leg broken?
Her leg looks to be severely
down.
damaged.
Yeah, let's just put her down. No, I guess
I'm down.
just try and can we?
See if we can
I'll
lift
try
this
and pull
beam
it
up.
off of her. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and go roll a body test.
Since I'm maxed out with void points, I'm just gonna use one.
Okay.
Just because. And I still fail.
Oh,
And that's a void corruption just for
Oh.
you, Jeff.
It's finally happening. It starts to grow inside you, a living empty chasm. It fills your eyes and veins with corruption as it moves around, trying to get out. Every time you roll the same result again, you are pushed towards a transformation. So I guess that's a 7 every time you roll. I guess that's what
This
that
could
means
be-
every time
this-
you roll a 7? Yeah.
This could be what's growing inside me from all those injections I took a few weeks ago.
Put it in your notes. Put a little note about this.
All
Because
right.
this means over. Because we'll probably play this game, on and off again. Because I think everyone seems to like it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So yeah, go ahead and mark that down, and we'll come back to it. So, what is this? What do you think this looks like? How do you think this like sort of manifests in the moment?
I imagine, like, as I'm trying to lift this beam off of Thea, my vision kind of like goes foggy a little bit, and when you get like those little like eye movers, and you try and
floaters.
follow them with your eyes, but instead of like one, there's just like hundreds, and they just kind of like cloud my vision as like my vision goes like really blurry for a second, and I like have to close my eyes really hard, and I can kind of feel them recede a little bit into the back of my eyes, and I open them up again, and I can kind of still feel the residuals, but my vision's cleared at this point.
Yeah, and the two of you just watch him. He's going down to reach to help, and then just sort of stops while this happens to him. Charles, what do you want to do?
Kind of acknowledge, or can I say I can acknowledge what happened to him? Like,
You can see
signs
like
of the
something
void
bothered
because-
him. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can, if you want to try to like deduce whether like something more than just him getting some kind of steam in his eyes. Roll a savvy test, see if maybe you can kind of deduce what's happening here. People are talking about food in chat right now. It's making me so hungry.
I got a 9, so probably not.
Okay. Yeah, you're not really sure. He might have just like there's this big blast of steam that came out. You could tell something is sort of blowing actively into the corridor, and it might have just kind of gone his eyes.
Yeah.
If you like,
I'll see if I can keep helping him out here to get this
Yeah,
beam off of her.
if you duck under the two of you over a couple minutes and maybe using like a pry of some kind, something to give you leverage, you can help get her out at that point. Let's head back to the food court. What are the two of you doing in the food court now? Anything else?
I would want to catch up with the group, but I would wait
Okay.
till Ilya is ready to go.
Yeah, this
Doesn't sound
Chipotle's
like
taking
you.
forever.
Yeah, I mean, we
It's real busy this time of day.
found the best of what we could find. So, all right, let's go catch
Okay.
up with them.
Sure. So you catch up. You see that they're struggling to like pry Thea out from underneath some kind of beam that seems to have pinned her. But right about the time when you two kind of catch up, a little bit out of breath, carrying a few extra items, Steven's got new fancy goggles on.
No, I gave him to Ilya.
Ilya's got these new fancy
Yeah.
goggles on. You can see that they get out. Now, you also notice, by the way, that you're all feeling a touch of lightheaded. And you see when you look out, at this point, as you look out, you can see that it's not just the inside that seems to have this some sort of gaseous steam blowing down, which is just heat. You can tell. You're not sure if there's some kind of lubricant or whatever that's expelling into it, but you see like atmosphere being expelled out from this corridor into the empty space in the empty space between the spokes of this station, and you're all getting very, very dehydrated, or very, very not dehydrated, getting very like dizzy, disoriented, and you still got like 50 yards to go. You want to just continue moving towards the outer dock at this point?
I want to get to Dock 7
I'm
as
not
fast as
stressed, yeah.
possible.
All right. So you head down to the end. You push the door open. All of you are at this point are like you're almost starting to feel like the effects of like low oxygen as you realize that corridor is venting atmosphere. You quickly get through. You close the door, and you can see. Man, why does that table keep showing up with that? That's crazy. So yeah, you can see you're in another one of those like checkpoint rooms, those the sort of docking checkpoints. As you're looking around, again, fairly dark in here. Emergency lights are on, so you can kind of see the contours of things. You can see sort of what looks like a straight shot into one of these shuttle bays. You can see what looks like paths going to either side of the ring. One thing that stands out to you is that there is this panel that's kind of bending outward from the top of the wall near you, like just a couple feet into like the full expanded room. And when you look, you can see that it's like kind of anchored or pinned against this console up against the wall. You can see what look like two arms appear to be like reaching up but flopping out of it, like they're not moving. And you can see the very top of some kind of construction helmet, as if there's somebody like got stuck trying to crawl out from like the crawl space of this particular window. Otherwise, the room itself seems structurally sound. There's like those security checkpoint areas seem to be like kind of shorting a bit, but you don't see any like major scraps of debris on the ground or anything like that. But it's pretty much a straight shot from here, straight through that security checkpoint and down towards that shuttle bay.
Ilia's just wheezing and limping and whatever, and so she's like, so we're going, right?
Yes, are you ready?
Yes, we should be careful. The ship that we are approaching is named Ogre. I presume it's Scrappers?
The planet is named Ogre.
Oh, the planet. Okay, I
Yeah.
misunderstood.
Okay.
With no objections, I'll head out first.
All right. You lead the way as you have this whole time. You get down that corridor, much like the corridor you came in as you first left when you woke up in your pods. You see that the door is open at the very end, and you hear voices kind of echoing down the hall.
So you can get a peek, get visual.
Okay.
Do the
Roll
voices
it.
sound like a language we can understand?
It sounds like there's people talking. It's not like screaming or anything like that. You just hear the echoing sounds of like voices. Do you want to sneak? Is that what you're looking to do? You're trying to be stealthy about
Yeah.
this, Chars?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead and roll
Don't
a
see us.
dex as you carefully try to move up.
I'll do void for advantage.
Yep. Sounds good. Oh my gosh.
Big 20.
Wow.
Okay, with a nat 20, you sneak up right to the door. You see there are 3 people that are working on this shuttle. They all look to have on like the same sort of like haphazard gear here and there. One of them looks to be a chrome, and they're kind of pulling at underneath like the front end. They're sort of connecting or trying to do some sort of bypass. You're not really sure exactly, but probably doing some essential repairs. You see another one has got a gun, and they're kind of just sort of like looking carefully, but they look like almost paranoid like. You can see there's more of those shadows along the wall, and maybe they're suffering from the same sort of delusion that Ilya and Thea were as they're kind of just staring at it. And you just hear them say, "They're moving again! They're moving again! They're moving again! Shut up, they're not moving! What the fuck's wrong with you? Gotta get out of here!" And that gives you just enough time to sort of sneak into the bay and kind of just settle down behind like this sort of stack of crates. These people are trying to get out on the shuttle. What do you want to do?
Is the hatch open for entry onto the shuttle?
Yeah, this doesn't
way
have... Yeah, you can tell that like this doesn't have all that trash like the one that you were in. The consoles here seem to be in perfectly good working order. There seems to be power to this room, to this cargo bay. And likely what's going to happen is you get in the shuttle, you close these doors, so to make sure that there's no atmosphere, and then you use sort of a signal from the ship itself to open the cargo bay doors, and you can fly on up.
I'm wondering if the shuttle's how big the shuttle is. Like if you were just stowaway on it, would people notice?
It's not very big. It's an orbital shuttle, so basically this will get you down on the planet. That's the essential. That's the extent of where this would go. If Ogre had a moon, perhaps you could push it and maybe get it to a moon, but you probably couldn't do much more than that.
So not something you can sneak 6 people onto and no one will know.
That's right, there are 6. Stefan. It is okay, Stephen. I will stay behind. I
You
will.
keep forgetting about him. He's the most important one.
I will throw burritos at the Chipotle until I crash.
Stefan, you're coming with. I'm not leaving you behind.
And this conversation's so loud, everyone hears, and they open fire. Now, what are the rest of you doing at this point? As Charles has snuck in, kind of reached around, you hear the voices. The rest of you can't make out the conversation from like hanging back, as like Charles has specifically made a point to try to sneak in. What do the rest of you do?
Probably scoping out the ship, trying to route my way out of this place.
Yeah, like I can say like from like a recessed point in the corridor, you can see the ship and maybe one person, but you hear more voices.
I feel like the smart thing to do would be to wait for Charles to come back and report on what he saw. Because if he was stealthing, then the more of us that try to stealth, the worse the
Making a
outcome's likely to
presumption that
be.
he's going to do that.
No, we would never leave someone behind, Jeff.
Doesn't sound like something this crew would do.
So I'm assuming Charles comes back and
That's
gives us
not
an
what
update.
happens at all.
That is
Oh,
Oh no.
Don't play other
Yeah.
people's characters, Melissa.
well, if Charles doesn't return to give us an update on what he saw, then I guess Elia would sort of. She's not feeling well and she wants to get on the ship, so she will try to also stealth since Charles didn't return in a
Sure.
timely fashion. So
Sure.
Steven wants on the boat. He's not letting Ilya go without him. And Stefan as well.
oh damn. There you go. That's a 2 under
Okay.
4.
Why
Oh
didn't
no, I
yours
didn't use it. Never
automatically
mind.
do it?
Never mind.
Yeah,
I didn't use it. That's why.
Yeah,
Sorry,
okay.
never mind. I just got one. I am now.
but you failed. Okay.
I did.
Who else is moving up?
Thea's gonna look at Vess and be like, should we attempt stealth or attempt to speak with these?
I don't want to metagame here, but I think I might know who these people are. But
I'll say
Can I-
you can see, and they are not the same people who shot you.
okay,
Yeah, that's already going.
when I heard 3 people, I'm like, well,
No, you see you see a punk. You also and I would say Charles. You also see what looks like a chrome. You can't see who's inside. There's like another person they're shouting to inside the shuttle that you can't quite make out, but you know there's a third person.
Do chromes have like their own dialect?
No, not really.
Oh,
No.
okay. Bummer.
It's not like that. They're not. I mean, like some might, some might not. Like
Yeah.
Like
let's
replicants,
not.
right?
Yeah, they're. I mean, they're. I think of them like, they're just basically cyborgian in a way,
Yeah,
but like
okay.
more human than not.
can I see like Charles from where I'm at?
I'm gonna say with a nat 20, he was so good at just sneaking off. He's
He
like
just
snuck
disappeared.
in, and he went off to the side. You've lost sight of him. No one can see him.
I'm gonna try and get onto the ship
Okay.
since I heard this is like the last way out of this place.
Okay. So you want to you want to try to sneak onto the ship? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I'm not gonna like scream on my way onto it. I guess we could do a stealth check.
Yeah.
What do you want me to roll? What have we been doing, Dex?
Dex to sneak in. Yeah.
And we have another complication as well.
What is that? Did I miss it? What's the complication?
I
Jeff,
haven't
you're being
in-
spoiled tonight.
I have it injected. I know. I just want to say, viewers, thank you so freaking much. This never happens. Normally,
that Jeff has a bunch of rerolls.
Bringing
and
a
stuff?
tear to his eye.
Normally, I have to go against teams that have like 1,000 rerolls and bonus
That's
die
true.
and stuff. It's just like, oh god.
And yet somehow we only hang on by the skin of our teeth.
That's a fail. Damn.
Oh.
Just barely didn't get it.
All right. So, Thea, I'm gonna say you're hanging back. I haven't heard a specific
Is
thing
there
as.
a console back here?
There's a panel to get to mess around with the door, but we've hesitated too much. Too many people have decided to do stuff, so we're gonna play some of this out. Okay. So Charles, you are perfectly stealthy. You're hidden. You're watching. You know there's 3 of them. You can see 2 of them. One of them has a gun and seems to be strangely kind of staring at these blast shadows on the wall. Steven, I'm going to assume Stefan's following you, and Ilya, we
were following Ilya, yeah.
Yeah, you start to sneak in, and then a couple steps behind, Vess is coming in. Meanwhile, Thea is kind of hanging back a sec, because she's sort of looking around for a console or a panel. As the next wave tries to sneak in, the guy who sort of has been looking off to the side is sort of like staring, kind of freaks out. He turns back. But Ilya, you, out of the corner of your eye, because you were affected by it before, you see the shadows move, and you're like right next to you, right on like the reverse side of the wall as you step in. You can see out of the corner of your eye, they start to flicker, and you kind of panic a bit. And you hear the guy that was kind of up on the entrance to the shuttle with the gun kind of like freaking out, shout like, "Shoot us! Oh, get him! And he goes and he starts firing. There's going to be 3 potential targets here between Steven, Stefan, and Ilya. So 1 to 2, it's going to be Ilya. 3 to 4,
not that he doesn't matter as much, but take out Stefan.
It's going to be random. It's 4. It's going to be Steven. So he fires at Steven.
You meant Stefan, right?
At Steven with what looks like a raid rifle. What is your DR?
12.
Okay, that's solid. It's a nice average number.
Yep, it's exactly average.
So he fires down at you. Oh my god, I am rolling.
Wow.
Like, what's the opposite of rocks?
Maybe you should start using those
down.
donations.
That's not how I don't give myself rerolls. I give myself just complications to add like things to the story, stuff like that. Like here come more spiders, or like, fire suppressant stuff happens. Okay. He misses, but we are now into combat. And because they are the first person to go, he actually gets to continue the combat. He will give the neck to the other person outside, who is kind of working. That one will go ahead and go next. So the first one that went, we'll call him Tilo. The second one we'll call him Sate. He will turn around. When you look as the one that's sort of doing this repair stuff, turns around, looks, sees these 3 people coming in. They've got some kind of like weird injector pistol on their belt, and they will quickly turn back. They've got what looks like these insulated plastic suits, almost like fishbowl helmets, with all these different like graffiti messages on them, and will fire. We'll do the same sort of determination of who they attack. With a 5, this will be Stefan this time. What's Stefan's DR?
It is also 12.
All right. So this next one will go at Stefan.
And again, there's no H in that.
Wow.
Misses. You took German. You should know that's what happens when the S and the T go together at the beginning of the
Urkel.
Stadt. Okay. And so the next one will be the person on the inside of the shuttle. They'll kind of shout, and you'll see kind of like pushing out onto. So like there's a ramp that seems to go up right to this sort of shuttle bay. It's kind of almost got like a Lamborghini type opening that flips up, and this other guy will sort of step up with a rifle. Will fire at one of these 3 people who stepped in. It's going to be at Steven again. This time it's going to be with a rifle against 12. They fire. Hits for 10 points of damage. Max damage on Steven. He thought he was going to get out. That son of a bitch. Yeah. You have to reduce.
Oh, no.
You have to reduce that gun you just got by 1 condition down to, I think, 1, if I recall. You also need to roll a body test to see if you die right now. So if you want to spend a void point, you can to get advantage if you have one.
I'm definitely going to have to spend a void point.
If you fail this, you're dead.
-2.
Okay. Here we go.
All right.
Got him! Yes! Yes! I got him! As the three of
Yeah.
you step in, Ilya starts panicking, like kind of bumps into Steven and Stefan. Gunfire starts hailing. You start scrambling around for cover, and as everyone's kind of scrambling around, this rifle shot fires down and takes Steven square center mass in the chest. He falls. You hear the sound of Stefan. No, Steven, no! So what you just rolled is how you were supposed to have died. So this is like the last vision you have as your eyes go. It's not really what's happening now, but it's just like the last image. What is the last image that you see as Steven falls to the ground dead?
So Steven was an Event Horizon diver, and his entire job was to push as far as he could to get as close as possible to a black hole where the light was sucked in and you couldn't see anything further. And he always thought he would die on the job. Like, that's what he always thought would happen. And everything that he had ever meant to be, meant to do, everything he knew is just forever lost and sucked into the black hole that he should have died in, because he just pushed a little too far that one time.
Nice.
Yeah.
And as your eyes kind of close, everything goes to black, but you see this and you hear this bit of static start to pop up. And then Steven goes limp, bleeding out onto the floor. That is their 3 turns. I'm going to give it over to Charse. I think that makes most sense. He was stealthed and hidden. So Charse, you're up next. There's 3 targets, 2 of them on the top of the ramp going into the shuttle. One of them is like underneath the shuttle. All of them have weapons. What would you like to do?
All right. If they just start out firing, then I'll come out from cover and shoot the one under the ramp.
I'm going to give you advantage in this attack since you're firing with, like, as you got in here stealth, so you can roll this attack at advantage. You want to fire at one of the ones on the ramp?
Oh, God.
I think you said under the ramp.
Under the ramp. The one.
Under the ramp, my bad. Okay, so go ahead. Yeah, fire. At advantage.
They have DR
Bring
12.
DR, the one underneath is DR 14.
Oh, God.
Oh my God, you're on Holy.
Yeah.
8 points?
8 damage.
Describe how you kill him. That's exactly how much HP it
Hell
has.
yeah.
Describe how you kill him.
Yeah, the sounds of gunfire. My pistol dead shot aimed at his head out from cover.
And they don't even see you. They're all pointing at the other one, so you just get up and Beautiful. Okay, you have to give the initiative over to somebody else while I switch my headphones really quick, as we're at that time.
All right. I think I see Vess and Co running up, so I'll give it to Vess.
So since you wanted to use this, I guess I will. Is using a cosmic mutation, can I do that as well as attack and move?
I think it's an action, actually. I think that's one of the actions that you have to do. Like one of your options. Steven, you most recently read the book. It's been a couple weeks since I fully read it. Do you remember specifically?
Sorry, what was that?
Is activating a cosmic mutation a full action? I think it's an action.
I think it's an action, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to see.
It would sort of make sense. Like, it sounds like an action.
Yeah.
Just sucks because it's like, I don't know exactly how this works in combat or not. Because I kind of want to like void one of them, to kind of take him out of the fight so we can just focus on one. But if he can just like walk out of it on his turn and shoot us, then it kind of just defeats the purpose. So
Is the
It
one
says
who is-
activating mutation requires spending 1 or more void points. The effect lasts around 10 minutes and can be activated from a range of 10 meters unless otherwise stated.
What I'll say is, like, I do think he can get out of it, but I'll say because if you put the void on somebody, whoever else fires on that spot with the void thing will have advantage on their attacks because the guy is like just a sitting duck inside of this cloud, easier to see. We're treating it like a fairy fire type of thing if we want to do that.
Well, did we
Okay.
kill the one who is seeing shadows?
No, you killed the one underneath. The one that was on top was seeing the shadows. So that's the one that had the gun.
Because, like, if you put them in void, and potentially it'll be like the same. No,
I'm not
resilient?
going to get forced into that kind of crap. No, it is
Okay.
specifically the shadows on the wall that it was having
Got
trouble
it.
with. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I guess I'm just gonna void one of them.
Okay.
So I'm gonna spend a void point, and I'm gonna void cloud. Let's just say the one on the left.
Okay, sounds good. We'll say that's the one that came out of the shuttle and killed Steven. Okay.
Avenge me.
So you've got Thea, Ilya, and Stefan that you can pick from.
Let's give it to Thea since she knows how to blast heads.
All right, Thea, you're back in the corridor, but you can use your movement to get up if you want. It's fine.
Yeah, once I hear shooting, I'll come up.
Absolutely. So you move in. You see Steven dead on the ground. You see another one of them dead on the ground underneath the shuttle. What would you like to do?
I am going to use a void point for advantage and shoot the one who's not in the cloud.
Okay, if you shoot at the one in the cloud, you'll have advantage. So I was just telling Logan, like as a benefit for him using his ability.
Okay, yeah, then I'll do that then.
Because he can't like take cover. He's just sort of not anticipating it or something like that. You know.
Yeah, he can't hear or see anything.
Yeah,
basically.
so he's just a sitting duck basically. All you have to do is hit the cloud basically.
Okay, and I'll make it risky.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh, miss.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
I might die.
He gets an immediate counterattack and chooses. They have all gone, so I can't really do anything with the initiative. But he'll get a counterattack. I'll do it at disadvantage because he's in the cloud. So.
Don't forget about Stefan.
No, the counterattack is specifically against.
All of the
I just-
baddies have gone.
For my
this round.
void, do I re-roll, what is it, a d6?
Yeah, since you missed, go ahead and roll a d6.
You didn't spend one, did you?
No, you didn't spend one.
Oh, if you didn't spend him, then you're fine. Yeah.
You were just
Should-
attacking
Oh,
with
okay.
raw advantage.
Yeah, I give you. I get.
one for risky.
You don't have to spend
No,
anything for
oh, yeah.
risky. You just have to declare
That's right.
risky.
That's right.
All right, so this is going to be at disadvantage. What's your DR, Ashley?
My is 14.
Okay, here it comes. With the raid rifle. That's a miss. It just fires wide. As a bullet comes out from that cloud, but it's nowhere close to hitting you. It just embeds into the wall behind you. I will give it over to Stefan because I have to pick somebody else, and all my people have gone. So Stefan may go.
Stefan will run over to Steven's body and he will cast aside his pistol. He doesn't care about it anymore. And he will just cry and sob and mourn his lover.
Pull yourself together,
as-
Stefan. Look alive, man. We're getting our heads blown off here.
At this point, it doesn't matter if he dies because Steven has died.
Yeah.
And he will just mourn and sob and wretch his clothes.
Okay.
If you'd rather die, why don't you just kill yourself, man? I toss him my revolver.
He already had a pistol from Ilya. He cast it aside.
Lands on the ground, fires, and shoots Stefan in the face. And falls
Ilya
over.
hasn't gone yet.
Ilya, you're up next. Go for it.
All right. So Ilya wants to shoot the one that was distracted by the.
Yeah.
Shepard.
Advantage for free. Well, the one there's two.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, just shoot the one that's got the cloud around
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's
Yeah, take the advantage.
It's there. I'm giving it to you for free.
I think I forgot to change the. Never mind, I missed
Oh.
anyway.
You still
Man.
missed. As you fire,
Maxed on void points. I don't know what that means.
that's it. You can't spend any more. You can't get any more. That's it. You just have 4.
Okay.
Okay. You also get to choose who goes first on the new round because everyone's gone.
Let me go before this void guy can step out of his puddle.
Everyone can basically go before then.
Yeah,
Right.
you could choose Stefan again.
Now he cradles them in his arms this
What a
time.
waste of life this man is.
says a small word of goodbye. Kisses the
Oh,
tears away.
It's like this man's never seen war or death before.
You know what? I just had a thought. I haven't activated stubborn yet,
Okay.
so I can reroll any dice once per session. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
go ahead.
roll
Yeah,
what
go
I
ahead.
just did.
So sure.
So I'm going back over here. Attack advantage.
Looks like you got it that time.
For 1 damage.
Hell
Nice
yeah.
job.
One's better than none, but it's still up. Yeah, they're still
Okay.
up.
And then I was thinking because I'm stubborn, I'm just going to take first next round.
Yeah, that's fine.
which I can do, right?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna shoot.
absolutely.
And
Oh, man.
Man.
All right, Vess.
Okay. All right, Vess. There's 2 up on the ramp now.
Yeah, it lasts 10 minutes, so I'm guessing he's still in it until his turn, basically.
Until his turn. He'll step out of it on his turn, but he can't do it
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna blast him with my scrap gun, risky attack, spending a void point.
Okay.
You know how it goes. Let's
Absolutely,
try
man.
this.
Finish it right here.
Oh my god!
Oh, no.
We can't hit this guy.
Double
It's just
nines.
this. Okay. You fire away and just. Maybe the void in you causes just like. You just pull to the right a little bit too much. You also don't want to damage the ship too badly. All right, who you want to give it to?
Let's do Chars.
All right, Chars.
I'll close in
Okay.
the guy in the cloud.
All right, go for it, man. Advantage.
It's still 14. All of them.
I think all of them are 14. Yeah. Tello. Yeah, all of them are 14. 14 DR, 8 health.
Double 10s.
Okay. Man, you guys suck.
Even with advantage, we can't
Right?
hit this guy. We're dead for sure.
Thea
Stefan a chance.
and Stefan. Okay, Stefan, it is your turn again.
Probably, just for strategy's sake, we should probably let Stefan go last,
That's probably
so
good
they don't
idea.
get double turns. Because I feel
Oh,
like
yeah,
if
true.
they get double turns, we're probably.
I
just
still
all-
haven't
We're still,
gone.
we're still there.
Yes, Thea
Yeah,
still.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
just so we should give enemy initiative before it, like all of us have gone, so
Right.
they don't get like a double turn.
So 2 people still have to go. Stefan and Thea. So who do you want to have it next long?
Probably Thea, since she's actually going to attack. And we'll have advantage on her attack.
That makes sense. I'll give it a there.
All right, Thea.
Okay. I have 1 bullet left.
Okay.
Make it count, girl.
Oh boy.
Let your
I'm
aim be
gonna
true.
shoot at the guy because he's not dead, right?
No, he's not. He's taking 1 point of damage.
God.
Out of 5 attacks.
So many attacks on this guy. There you go. There you go. Oh my
Oh,
god.
wow.
1 damage.
You shoot him again. I mean, like you're firing and you probably don't even know because you can't really hear anything coming out of it, but you're pretty, you know, like
We're all just shooting into this black void. This guy's just going to step out with nothing touching him. We're going to be like, what the hell?
all right. Who you want to go next? Guy in the void or guy who's afraid of shadows?
Shadows.
Guy who's afraid of shadows. He will. So we'll call this guy Tello. Let's see what he's got. He's going to take a couple steps down the ramp. I can basically fire at any of you. So I'll roll a
Could
D.
I,
Yeah.
like, as I shoot, I can no, that doesn't make sense really to yell, what are you doing? We're refugees.
you killed one
Yeah,
of them.
I know. I didn't.
It's gonna
That's
fire.
what I'm saying is it doesn't make sense.
All right, this one's gonna turn, come down the ramp, look, see at the person who actually killed one of their crewmates, and is going to fire their rifle over at Chars. So Chars, what's your DR?
Is 14.
All right, here it comes. 17. That's good. Only 1 point of damage,
Thank
however. Okay. He'll give the attack over to Sakral,
We
Who
have
will-
rolled so many ones.
I know, right?
who will
I've rolled 2 nat ones.
who will step out of the cloud, confused, disoriented, looking back at it, but then will quickly scan and find a target. This will go over at Thea. This attack. Thea, your DR is, I mean.
14.
Thank you. So it fires. That'll be a miss. Okay. Then this will go over to Stefan.
Stefan is sobbing, and he's covered in Steven's blood as he holds and cradles his body close to him. And he will grab the pistol on the ground that he cast aside, and he'll point it towards his head, contemplating. But then he'll see the 2 that are still there, and in his fury, he'll aim it at them and start blasting.
Okay. Void point for advantage.
Does an NPC have a
Use
void point?
use Stevens. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. A void point for advantage then.
Okay.
What's the DR?
DR's 14.
14.
In his
Suppressing
tears, he
fire.
can't see straight, and he's just pulling the trigger furiously, but not actually understanding if he'll hit or not.
All right. So then you get to start the next round. Who's going to go first, Steven?
You have to be stubborn to go twice.
No, anyone can.
I was just
Stefan's
playing
going to
that
go
up.
again, and he's going to keep shooting.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
In his fury, in his sadness, he
Okay.
will shoot again. Steven did have another void point. Can Stefan use it again?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay,
Use them.
there we
That's
go.
better.
All right.
There we
Hey.
go.
Oh,
And assuming
Some retribution.
you shot at the one that's already taken some damage, you kill him.
sweet, sweet revenge.
Tim Scott has just introduced
Another complication.
another complication.
You glorious bastard.
Thea, you look behind, down the corridor. You see one of those large spiders, kind of moving on the side, moving on the ceiling. It'll be here next round.
Oh God.
If you guys don't kill and get on the shuttle and around, this spider is going to enter the fray. That is the final complication here. Or this complication. There we go. Steven, who's going next?
Let's say Vess. He's been doing okay in combat.
Only one of them
Yeah.
left.
With my final shot
Oh boy.
from my scrap gun, I'm gonna do like a combat roll up to the bottom of the ramp, and then just try and blast this guy, knowing I only got one round left. I gotta make it count.
Okay.
So
Ilya too.
Oh my gosh.
we're gonna do it. We're gonna use it. Oh, I'm out of void points.
Oh no. It's a regular shot. Oh no.
I used them all up. I stocked up 4 of them, and I've used them all.
Oh boy. It's getting
Do
dicey.
I make it a risky attack? That's the real
with
question.
just one shot? Oh god.
Yeah. I mean, I still have my
We're at the
revolver.
end.
I can
You
pick up
got
a
it, right?
revolver. I still got a spider fang. Yeah, we're gonna blast this guy to death. He's dead for sure.
Okay.
Nat 20. Here we go.
All right. Like the confidence.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's your third nat one.
Oh, that's perfect.
That is not perfect.
Oh, we're dead then.
As you combat roll, you fire
Roll
but
crit.
stumble on the ramp, and he just looks down and fires. What is your DR again? 10?
10.
Okay.
Oh
Boy.
man.
13 hits.
Oh no.
How much damage did I roll? I didn't see it.
9.
9.
9 points of damage?
It was
Oh,
a
boy.
lot. It was a lot.
Why did
That kills me, and it's more than my HP max on top of that. So,
roll
That's the worst.
body.
yeah, roll your body to see if you die.
Here we go. This could be the end of Vess Shepard.
No void. Oh, you do have a void point though.
I have 1 left.
You could spend it
now
here.
I got it.
Yeah.
Gotta use
Alright.
it.
2 nat ones. What is up with this game? I
Wow.
barely hit.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
It's
Frank did. We
Jesus.
know he did.
on the
Right.
ramp. You are bleeding but still alive, unconscious. However, you also have we have an extra roll from Vargadev here at the end. Okay, let's see. You guys went first, so now it's his turn. That was his counterattack.
Huh?
Yeah.
Now he will fire. I'll do a D4, not counting Logan's character because Logan's down. This is going to go after Stefan.
You wouldn't kill me twice.
Turns to Stefan, whose DR, remind me again, I'm sorry, I don't remember.
12.
12. And fires now at Stefan. 16 to hit. 9
9
points of damage.
again. Oh my
He had
gosh.
4 hit points.
Roll body.
Out of void points.
Oh,
Fires, takes down Vess. Vess flops to the ramp. Look, still breathing, but is bleeding. Turns quickly, sees Stefan, looks at him and goes, Auf Wiedersehen. Blows him away as he falls down. The body limply falling on top of Steven. So now they're making a Steven Stefan little flapjack sandwich.
They died embracing each other.
They did.
Which is how they lived.
They did. I will then give. I have to give the initiative over. I'll give the initiative over to who still needs to go? Chars, Thea, and Ilya.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do a little random roll to see who gets it. Ilya, you're up. Oh man, the shuttle's right there. There's a spider coming.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
You guys need to do 8 points of damage estimated in 3 turns.
All right. I have 1 bullet left in
Oh,
my
God.
pistol.
Oh god.
So I will spend the void point.
Risky attack, do it. End him.
Use void point, risky attack.
Yeah.
See what happens.
That's what we like to see,
Oh!
baby. Yes!
Oh my god! Describe your kill. Holy
oh, thank
shit!
God.
So, like, Ilya has just been sort of dumbfoundedly just watching just sort of the carnage that's been happening over the last couple minutes. And so she just sort of like, you know, kind of gives kind of her gun a couple pats. And she's just like, yeah.
Last bullet too, right?
Last bullet. Like, I am not getting attacked by these spiders again. And so she just like center mass.
Okay. You have movement. Do you run into the ship now?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Like going
Can you
for a
drag
console.
my body with you?
Okay.
I don't want to be spider.
2 actions still. There's 2 people still have to go. We're staying in initiative. You run onto the ship.
Yeah.
Okay, so you run up the ramp, step on top of Vess's body, doing 1 damage to him and killing him. run to the ship. Who do you want to give the action to? Thea or Chars?
Thea.
Okay.
Yeah, Thea's gonna run up and she's gonna try and help dragging Vess into the ship.
Okay. You grab him. You start dragging him up. Chars, do you do the same?
Yeah, I'm gonna go on the ramp.
Okay.
Pick off this body.
Okay. Kick the bodies off. Start going up.
Yeah,
You
close it up.
Steven and Stefan off.
You
You know
s-
they're dead for sure.
You see the spider leap into the room. And because you all chose to not let the spider go first, it gets 2 actions in a row. First one to get into the room. Second one, it's going to leap up and try to get in before the doors and everything close.
Damn it.
That's how it works. It's gonna leap up. Okay.
I didn't think because he wasn't gonna be until that round.
I said I was gonna keep with initiative. Keep with
Okay.
initiative.
That's
Okay.
not bad.
Okay. Let's bring
It's
it.
just appropriate. There should be a spider with us when we try to get away from this.
I am going to make a dexterity test to see if I can. I feel bad because I need to roll a 6 to succeed. I'm going to roll a dexterity test to see if it can accurately leap up and into the shuttle before you close the doors. It leaps up.
Oh gosh.
And it is right there on the shuttle. Now that's its action. It leaps up, lands right in front of Chars and right in front of Thea. I'm assuming, Ilya, you have got down onto the pilot. Like you're at the
Yeah.
you're ready to pilot out. Okay,
Yeah.
your turns. I'm gonna give it over to Ilya. Ilya, what do you want to do? You're at the piloting controls. You hear them still shouting. Everybody who's living is on board.
I'm gonna do a tech roll.
Okay, tech roll to sort of take off, and yeah, that's fine. Well,
Yeah.
actually, do you want to do? No, it's a savvy roll to pilot.
Oh damn.
Yeah, to kind of keep your cool under pressure and whatnot.
Crap.
Well, I mean, there's no. I mean, just flying out is no problem. Like that, you don't have to roll for. But if there's something fancy you're looking to try to do, then that's where the roll comes into play. So if you want to do
Okay.
something fancy, you could do that.
Can I? I probably can't do both of these things. I was thinking about maybe, but I think we determined earlier that use of a void point is an action.
No, using a void point isn't. Using of a void ability is. That's what we
Yes,
decided.
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Using a okay. All right.
Take
I
my
just
spider fang off me and stab it. Maybe
Just say,
it'll
we're
paralyze
one
me.
of you.
I'll just fly the ship, and somebody else can deal with the spider.
Okay, I mean, like, if you want to use avoidability and fly the ship, I'm fine with that. I just, like, in terms of, like, doing... Like, if you're just doing a normal flying, you're not trying to do any sort of special maneuver or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go...
That's fine.
All right. You don't want to do anything.
My avoidability is a telekinesis, so it would have been more of a combat thing against the spider, which is
You should
not flying the
force.
ship.
You should force shove it out of here.
Melissa, what do you want to do? Like, it's the end of it. Just tell me what it is you want to do, and we'll go with it. Come on.
CPR on
Please don't make your final action. I'm going to do nothing. Like, do something cool. Come on.
Just kind of what I did before with trying to find something that's small to throw at the spider.
We'll say there's like a fire extinguisher on the wall. You can just sort of like mind control. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I will do that. And is the door closed behind us?
No, they were closing it, and it leapt in, and it's literally in the doorway as they were trying to pull the door down, the ramp up, all at the same time. So it's like kind of wedged right in the doorway right now.
All right.
Kargan makes a really good point. Just shut the door into the cockpit.
All right. So my turn is done.
Okay, so were you trying to attack it?
Yes, with the fire extinguisher.
Okay, but like, don't you need a roll? We rolled for that
Oh,
before.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Is that a tech roll?
Tech or savvy, whichever is better.
Success.
Okay, so you fly it over, and it kind of smashes into it. I'm gonna use since it's just your ability. It's gonna be your ability, not the DR of the creature, to just sort of hurl this across. And so you just smash this fire extinguisher right into it. The fire extinguisher, you still have the kind of controls. You've got like one hand kind of using buttons and trying to get the shuttle up and moving. The other hand, you're like kind of controlling the fire extinguisher behind you through the pilot door. Who you want to give it to next? And there's now a fire extinguisher right in the belly of this spider. Who you want to go to next?
Thea.
Thea, you're up.
Shoot the fire extinguisher, make it explode.
I don't have any ammo.
Oh, take my gun off me.
He does have a pistol. You did drag him up.
Okay, can I just grab his pistol?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's 1d6, 5 ammo.
Yeah.
Condition.
Okay, you have 5 ammo.
Yep,
Okay.
still a tech roll. Just roll a tech roll.
Well, I have a pistol, so I can.
Yeah, just roll yours.
Just
Yeah,
take my
yeah,
ammo.
that's fine.
Put 5 ammo in there.
It is like Jaws. If you hit, you have to say, "Smile, you son of a bitch." Now,
away
Ashley,
from her, you-
before you roll,
Uh-huh.
are you trying to shoot the creature, or are you in fact trying to blow up the fire extinguisher to try to hopefully expel the spider
That's
back
what
out?
I want. I
Hell
want to
yeah.
try and get that out of there.
Okay,
Do the thematics.
so I'm gonna say just DR12, like normal.
okay.
It's a normal tech roll to do it. Do you have any void points?
Yep.
All right, spend them as you try to blow up this thing point blank where you and everyone's standing. That's a hit.
Oh my.
That's a hit.
Damn it!
Oh,
As you fire down, you're point blank with it. You're point blank with the spider. You're and both you and Chars are right there. One of you was like sort of dragging up the body. The other is trying to pull the door down. The spider leaps up, smashes its way right into the door onto the shuttle. All of a sudden, a fire extinguisher wrenches free and comes hurtling across the passenger portion, smashes into the carapace of this large spider. It kind of stuns it ever so slightly for a moment. You reach down, point blank, fire. Do you say anything as you fire?
yeah. Thea's like, I believe the appropriate response is "Hasta la vida, baby."
It explodes, just throwing both you and Chars back against the wall. Both of you roll body tests as this explosion hurtles you. Now you fly back into the ship. The spider flies out of the ship. Both of you roll body tests.
Void for advantage.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I failed.
You fail, and you become infected by an anarchy program.
Oh.
I'm gonna say You fly back after saying that, smash against the wall, flop down unconscious.
Okay.
Charst, you smash back, you fall, you see the door is still open as the shuttle begins to sort of bypass that sort of exterior, like the force field to the exterior. You can feel it race over, pull the door back down just in time, right as you go through. The shuttle exits the bay. You kind of loop around. Ilya, you see the only place to go is this dark blue planet below. And you begin to take the shuttle kind of down into the atmosphere. You kind of bring up on your exterior cameras. And you just see the crumbling space station. And that's the last image we see as you descend into the atmosphere, into this dark, cold, rocky, distant planet on the outer rim of the Tenebris system. And that's where we're going to end our session for tonight. And that was awesome, guys.
Our time on this planet is ogre.
I had a
God dang it.
God
How
dang
long
it.
have you been saying and waiting?
He wrote it down 5 minutes in. Guys, that was awesome. That was absolutely awesome, especially when I killed Steven twice. That was
Yep.
that honestly was my favorite part, is when I killed
That's why I
Steven
named my
twice.
character Steven, so it would be even more therapeutic.
It was really good to kill Steven twice. Guys, remember when I killed Steven twice?
That's pretty
You've,
good.
I am
you've
still-
successfely killed all of our guest characters.
I have.
through this
I
campaign.
know. I still haven't died
Yeah,
yet,
you-
despite
you were
having
so
1 HP
close.
for the longest
Knock
time.
on wood.
You rolled a natural 20 on your thing. That kind of kept you up. All right, let's do the advancement questions really quick so people can hear them. For those of you who survived. So, Steven, you don't have to worry about these because I killed you twice.
Thanks.
Did any of you repair something? No, not really. Did you deliver it on a dangerous contract? I'm going to say yeah. You can take a point for that because it's essentially a thing. Did you use a void point? Yes. You can take an XP for that. Discover a new and potentially dangerous place? Yes.
Yes.
Gain a new enemy? Yes, and then immediately killed them. So how about that? Did you find someone new that you can trust? I don't really want to say you get each other with that. That's a little cheap. Did you contribute with something especially memorable? I think Ashley for sure with
Yeah.
Thea's explosion thing at the end.
Absolutely.
Anybody else want to make a case for something really memorable? I just think I should get 2 XP for killing Steven twice. Right? I did 2
You
memorable
bastard.
things. Okay. So yeah, those are the XP questions that you can kind of do after each session. But that is it. Hope you guys had fun. Yeah.
That was
I got
terrifying.
some Matt LeBlanc Lost in Space vibes with all those space fighters. Space spiders.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely was. Yeah, I was kind of channeling a little bit of a Starship Troopers vibe with it. With
Oh, yeah, the bugs.
a little bit of that. So kind of these arachnids. All right. So what are we doing next? Tomorrow you can catch a bunch of us playing One Ring right here. Come back on Saturday as we continue our campaign there. Let's see. Monday we'll be back playing Deadlands here as well. So you can kind of come take a look at that. But next week, we are going to be off next weekend, so nothing on Friday, nothing on Saturday, as Melissa and I have other things that we unfortunately have to do that week. But we'll be back in probably 2 weeks with more something. I don't know what we're doing in June yet, but I imagine Death in Space will probably come up again because it seems really, really, really fun. So, anything else? I think that's it, right?
You can catch us tomorrow early afternoon over on Grim and Perilous Plays. We are starting up some Fallout.
That's right. That's right. Me and Melissa will be playing Fallout 2D20 system, Grim and Paris Plays. Thank you to everyone who hung out for yes, now we have a line.
Complications after
You
complications.
got like 4 complications.
Thank you for all the
tonight, right?
complications. You guys were great. Made for a
I
very
don't
fun
even know
time.
how many did we get.
Quite a
Like
few.
4 or 5, I think.
Yeah,
That was
fantastic.
so much combat.
there was a lot of
This is the
combat.
perfect game for complications.
Yeah,
too.
that was
Yes,
a ton of
it really
combat on
is.
that one. Yeah,
Our first combat was too easy. You had to make it a little bit harder on us.
yeah.
We just blasted those first.
Everything was random. Not random. I set up like the tables and stuff like that, but it was like procedurally generated from like tables that I had created ahead of time. So like every time we went to a new place, I would roll. And like there's other things we could have done as well. One of the other solutions potentially was to try to get the thrusters working on the station again to save the station. So that was another option. But that would have taken you to a different part of the ship, and you would have seen other horrible things. So some other options, but that was great. I think it was awesome. I think we're gonna raid somebody. Let's raid. Looks like it doesn't look like Chuck or Steam Still Murders up, so we're gonna raid Vorpal Tales. Everybody follow the raid. Say hello to the new people we're going to. Thank you for everyone who hung out tonight. Thank you for everyone who threw us some bits. Make sure you're following the channel. Make sure you go check us out on YouTube, as a lot of our old catalog of games is up on youtube.com/Adventures in Lollygagging. Just search for us there, and you can find a lot of our old stuff. So I'm going to throw us on the end screen, and then I'll hit the raid button, and then we're going to be gone. So good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.